The apocalypse is coming. Are you scared? Are you prepared? The masses are running, frantically running from their fears, running with their tears, running from their lives, running from that dark shadowed creature that hides deep inside.
Hello, hello, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Ray Felix with you today, and seeing what you're up to. It's been a long week, very long week. And every week it feels like there's just so much to talk about, right? And yeah, it's just a never-ending cycle of news. Just yesterday, I think it was, we had riots in Iran or something like that. Maybe it was 48 hours ago. I forget. Apparently, they turned off the social media and people started rioting in the streets. It's like, wow, that's the power of social media. It's like, wow. I could see them doing something like that in this country as they go deeper into this whole control thing. The country is the country is starting to fall apart. I said it many years ago. If you allow what happens in Gaza to succeed, then they can do that anywhere at any time. And if you ignore it, eventually it's going to catch up to you. So, that being said, it's caught up to the American people. It has. And it's scary. It is very scary. But the I think the thing that you have to do is not be afraid in the face of fear. And I just thought, that's really where we have to stand up as Americans, using our minds, not our fist, to make a difference. All right. Where, in some places they need to use their fist. We as Americans, we're not there. We're not there. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's kind of hard to say. I have like so much in my head. It's hard to like separate it. But on one hand, I would say it's always been like this for certain populations. Growing up in the Bronx, we had police always driving around, surveilling, harassing. It didn't happen to me too often, but it did happen to a lot of people that I knew. Getting searched, getting a random, stop and frisk and all that stuff. Those are very real things that have been with us for a long time. It's just starting to happen to the white community now, so now it's a big deal. I mean, and it depends on class, right? So if you were poor and white, you experience that, right? If you grew up in a dysfunctional, like, environment that's filled with inequality, you've already experienced that to some degree. In the black and brown communities, it's always been there. So I find that interesting now that they're attacking the middle class. So like this white woman that got shot in Minnesota. Yeah, I mean that's that's been going on for a while. That's not news, so to speak. But with that, let's bring in Miguel Guerrero. I see he's popped in. What's up, man?
Yo, what's up?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Yeah, what's going on? I was listening to some of your stuff over here, and I'm just about to share onto my Facebook wall our our show that we're doing right now.
Right.
Off.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I was hearing you about happening to the Black and brown communities.
It's nothing new under the sun, but at the same
No,
time, it's
no.
it's
Here's
just happening to the white community, white women specifically. So now it's news.
well, I'm kind of sick and tired of us being compared to Nazi Germany,
Mm-hmm.
and here's why. Because it skips out the history of our country
Mm-hmm.
that has had episodes similar to that before Nazi Germany was a thing,
Oh yeah.
such as Reconstruction, the failure of Reconstruction, the
Mm-hmm.
rise of the KKK, like
Mm-hmm.
people being surprised about all this fascist stuff. Well,
Mm-hmm.
we are the ones who inspired them,
Them.
the Nazis.
Right.
Granted, they were doing shit in Namibia, they were doing stuff in all over Africa too,
Mm-hmm.
and all that. So they have their own separate history too as well. But I
Mm-hmm.
am sick and tired. I'll have to say, I don't usually hear that from Black and brown people,
Right.
because Black and brown people who are like, let's just say if you basically want to live in your little bubble and you want to ignore stuff because you're just trying to make it through the day,
Mm-hmm.
you might not know it. But if you decide, well, why are things so screwed up? Eventually, you'll sit down, you'll actually start to read stuff.
Right.
White America, and I know you mentioned poor white America, and it is true, they have gone through it. But there's always that little carrot
Mm-hmm.
that if you ignore this, you can rise to be with us. That's why white was created in the first place.
Right. To
White,
divide.
white has nothing to do with race. It's a psychological, it's a psychological state.
Mm-hmm.
It's a collaboration of state in
Mhm.
that you're willing to forego that you're poor, that you don't have any health care, to collaborate with the wealthier ones.
Right.
That's what it comes down to. So they, even if they were poor and white, weren't able to fully embrace the truths and realities that we've come to just accept, because
Mhm.
there's no way we could ever fully make it to the top without selling our souls, and then we're just a puppet. And so sorry, I came out of the gates really supercharged because I've been
Yeah,
trying.
same here. I'm just like, I have so much to say. My brain is like,
Me too. We might have to make this one a
Right.
long one. I know.
Yeah.
we just
And going into whiteness, I think it was in 1906, Hale versus Henkel, right? Where the US Supreme Court decided a corporate officer couldn't claim Fifth Amendment privilege against self. Well, that's the wrong one. That's not the one. That's about lynching. I was actually thinking about the whiteness court ruling where they actually had to, they fought against whiteness, right? Like they were like they applied for whiteness, in court.
Oh, you're talking about there's a movie made about that.
Oh, is there really?
There's it's not talked about too much, but during the Civil War, there's a group of poor whites and black people who was called the State of Jones.
Yeah.
And these Confederates like, fuck this shit. We're fighting for these rich guys. And they made a little enclave with black people.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the leaders of that, and actually they ended up helping the Union in the end, but one of the leaders of that, I think his name was Jones. I think there was a movie with Matthew McConaughey called State of Jones. I think it was called that.
Right.
And his children, I think, were applying because they were labeled black because of the one-drop rule.
Right.
Which in Virginia became a one-drop law. That's why we had the Lovings who had to push back to overturn that crap, which really only went up, I think it was in the 1920s. It wasn't like, it was just a rule that everyone, all right, well, we know that your grandmother's black, so we're just going to sideline you. It was never really fully like a concrete law till the 20s.
Right. And I know that you have to apply for it. It's funny. I'm like Googling it now. It's like with this AI, it's almost like AI is trying to like wipe it away. Like what's going on? Like,
Well,
I find it. This seems this thing used to pop up like that all the time. Where like I remember that the Japanese applied for whiteness and were rejected,
Hmm.
and so were the Jewish people. But
Hmm.
then they had to appeal, and then they finally won.
No.
Different groups of people applied for whiteness in the United States,
Yep.
and you know,
And the Arabs,
Arab,
anyone, and Arabs pushed for it, but the
yeah,
reason they achieved it pretty quickly was because of the petroleum.
right, because of the oil. Yes,
So, and they made it any country that speaks Arabic
right.
you come from, you're designated as white. Now, many black Americans and brown like Latinos or just brown people always get very upset. Like, why do they see themselves as white, like new immigrants? You
Right.
have to understand the immigration laws and what they're being people are being forced to check off is white. So for example, if you're Sudanese and you're black, or just
Hmm.
Sudanese, and you speak Arabic, you're actually designated as white,
Yeah, I think that
which
was
is insane.
United States versus Bhagat Singh Thind in 1923.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's what. Yeah, he identified himself as Aryan, eligible for naturalized citizenship. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and a lot of it was,
It's
I
really
think,
shocking and crazy at the same time. It's like
foreign policy things,
it's
interests that we have. I know a
insanity.
lot of people want to separate foreign policy from internal policy. It is
Right,
impossible.
right.
And to those who consider themselves left, if you're not anti-imperialist, you're not
Mhm.
left
Right.
because you can't be against fascism and then again for imperialism, no matter how little it is. Oh, we got to go overthrow them. We got to save them from themselves, which is very paternalistic
Hmm.
and very white supremacist. I'll add. Oh, it's well-meaning, but it's like think about what you're saying. You're
Hmm.
saying they're not capable enough to deal with their own business.
Hmm.
We have to go manage it. And who's this we? It's these white we, right?
Right.
And yeah, because that imperialism will come right back as fascism. So you
Right.
can't have it both ways. And this is one of my biggest issues with, is I do not consider myself a centrist in any sort of stretch of the imagination. Never did. I
No.
always
No.
distrusted it, and more so as I go on. And this idea of like taking extreme right and extreme left and then averaging it was somewhere in the middle has gotten us right here because and it's historical.
Hmm.
Very few people. This is what pisses me off when people talk about the rise of the Nazis. They
Hmm.
leave out the revolution of 1918, 19 in Germany,
Hmm.
in which the workers after the war, being organized by Rosa Luxemburg,
Hmm.
decided to protest and decided to basically have a workers' movement. The centrists, who were the corporatists, the rich people, didn't like this because, of course, it screwed their interests. So what do? They hired these paramilitary groups called the Freikorps or Free Corps. By the way, the swastika was first used with the Free Corps, not the Nazis,
Hmm.
and they were extreme fascist military groups. And
Was
they,
it also inverted? It.
well, I don't know if they inverted it, but it was already there present because they're
Hmm.
already fascist groups. And
Hmm.
they used those groups to clamp down on the workers, killing Rosa Luxemburg. And she's the one that says it's either civilization or barbarity. Now, a lot of people quote her, but they really don't know where it comes from. That was one of the things that opened things up for the then Nazis, the fascists, because they got rid of the workers' movements who were going to push back against that crap.
Right.
And the corporatists here here, stateside,
Mhm.
like Ford and all that, they all hated the Russian Revolution. However you see it, this is whether you're whatever it might be you feel about the Soviet Union. The reality is they were scared that their system of taking profits and the work that people were uh, profits from the work that they were doing was going to be in danger. So France England and the United States at first supported Hitler because the enemy wasn't Hitler to them, it was Stalin. And
Mm,
this is something that needs to be cleared up. No, you can't take extreme right, extreme left, and then you get a middle, and that's the truth. That doesn't even work in reality. There's either the truth or it's not.
right.
Right. So sorry for the rant, but I had to put it out there.
No, no. I mean, this is what we're here for.
And I'll tell you something. To me, a good deal of Democrats in the
Mhm,
United States, and I've joked about this. You've seen my wild posts. I
mhm.
showed that one about the political spectrum, and I
Yeah.
had the right. We are completely through and through a right wing country. What
Mhm.
are you talking? And I know, oh, well, you can't equate the Democrats and the other. Yes, but you can't be considering yourself compassionate and left and supporting drone strikes
Right.
or, going and beating up on
You can't.
countries. You can't.
It's the
So
uni party. That's what I call it. You
it's the
know.
uniparty. And we need to really have what we need is a second party,
Right.
right? So, and it
Yeah.
might piss off some people who are Democrats, but we got here
Right.
because
I mean, even with Obama, when his whole thing was hope, but then he just did exactly the same thing that Bush was doing and increased them.
well,
And he did some good stuff, but he was a centralist. And my biggest gripe with Democrats is that they're always saying we got to play by the rules, we got to be fair, we
no,
got to reach across the board and bring us together. And it's just like shut the fuck up. The Republicans never do that. They never do that. So why? I mean, look what's happening now. So
right.
and every single one of them, when they get into power, that's just an excuse to do jack shit or to do very little and say, well, we
Totally
don't do
agree.
anything.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I'll tell you something.
No.
And it's something that I've always had to keep to myself because, especially when I live stateside, but
Mhm.
less and less so as time goes on because
Mhm.
there are different ways of looking at a situation. So we can look at the situation from us, the common people,
Mhm.
what we're seeing, what we're experiencing. Then we can look at it at the political level.
Mhm.
Uh, what's being presented to us is the reality, right? So this is
Right.
reality: Republicans versus Democrats. Really, it's good cop versus bad cop.
Mhm. Yeah,
But
yeah.
good cops because they're saying rules. What
Bad
are
cop,
these
worst
rules,
cop.
right? Worst cop, right? Um,
That's what it is now.
but when it comes to their leadership, what we have to do, and how I view it, I try to distance myself when I view leadership like Obama and others
Mhm.
from a moral standpoint and look at it as okay, let me look at the view for their chess game from their view. So their
Mhm.
view is they're imperial managers.
Mhm.
What Obama did was he was a brilliant imperial manager. I can't take that away from him. He's
Oh no,
really
can't
brilliant.
take that away from him. It's
He
like
was brilliant. And he was brilliant because
he became a personality, like a celebrity in a sense, like a
but
celebrity president.
keep in mind the if taking you back to Bush, and I'm sure you remember this.
Hmm.
Everybody hated Bush.
Hmm. Both of
Everybody hated Bush. People outside of the country hated Bush,
them. Right.
right? And what is the one thing, if you're looking at it now from the perspective of the elite, and you're looking at going, because really a whole empire, and I think we got to drop the word superpower. I know a lot of people out there love superpower, but no, that's Superman comic book stuff. And it's a comic book creator telling you this. Please put that in the comic side, and let's look at his empire.
Right.
If you're the power elite, you're looking at this going, holy shit, yeah, I think we went too far. They're pissed off at us. Really, our powers, our image.
Hmm.
What do we do? Maybe they're sitting there in a smoke filled room, and
Hmm.
someone says, "Let's get a black guy."
Hmm.
And what's so brilliant about getting, and it's not to diminish Obama or anything, marketing wise and rebranding, it
Hmm.
makes the world go, "Holy shit, America changed."
Right. It's a
It's no
smoke
longer
screen.
like when I first moved to Europe, my Spanish friends, I had some who asked me, "Yo, Miguel, um, you know, racism must have ended in the United States." And I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And they would say, "Well, you elected President Obama." And I
Hmm.
had to take a step back after I just laughed cynically. I take a step back and I thought, this was a brilliant rebranding. right? Like it got everybody thinking. Like think of it as a storyteller. Oh, they were just down and out and bad, and just racist, and all of a sudden the people woke up and they said, "We're tired of being racist. We're going to vote for the black guy." And that's how it
Yeah.
was viewed in the rest of the world. That we were no longer the 1960s, the 1865, all the other bullshit racist stuff. And it's wild, wild to me. So my view and how I approach things is try to see it from different perspectives, on almost like a chess game. You know,
Right.
that's how I approach it. And yes, but the anyway, I'm gonna leave it there because I got very worked up, and I've been worked up this past week since the whole Venezuela thing. Like, who
Right.
the hell are we? To go anywhere and do stuff like that, like regime change. So,
Yeah. It was like in Rio de Janeiro in 1909, a judge ruled Syrians could be white under the Caucasian race using scientific classifications. You had Ozawa versus United States in 1922. The Supreme Court initially stated white meant Caucasian, but later denied Japanese immigrants who are, right?
well, they are thanks to the Nazis.
Right. And
The
then you have
Nazis made them honorary whites.
yeah, Naturalization Act of 1790, first law limited citizenship of free white persons, right? So you
Like,
have a whole history of this. And yeah, I do remember Hitler looking at the United States when they were looking at the KKK. You had these patrols, slave patrols, all this stuff was inspired the Nazis on how to handle Jewish people, gay people,
mhm.
religious people, other Germans that didn't agree with their philosophy, Catholics, you name it.
Well, and here's the thing: the
Yeah.
missing ingredient is a eugenics movement.
Mhm.
A lot of the guys that ended up working for the Nazis were working for genetic eugenics centers in New
Mhm.
Jersey and other places. Then they returned back to Nazi Germany,
Mhm.
and the Rockefellers and the Carnegies were funding Kaiser Wilhelm
Mhm.
Institute that had all that eugenics shit all the way through World War II.
Mhm.
So it wasn't just that we influenced them; we were the epicenter for this shit.
Oh
So it's
yeah.
like saying, "Oh man, you know, that alien is horrible," while we're ignoring the mother alien.
Mhm.
It's like, no, dude, that thing came from that thing, not the fucking other
Not
way
the other way
around.
around. Yeah.
It's crazy,
Slavery.
man.
It's
What's
like
that?
slavery. It's like,
Slavery. Yeah.
and then Jim Crow, and it's
And
that
with
goes on
Christian
and on.
nationalism, I know a lot of people keep doing this, and let
Yeah.
me put it this way.
It's basically looking at the mirror and saying it's your fault, but
Well,
not taking
the
ownership
Christian,
of that reflection is you, right? It's like
right, and exactly. They don't they don't want to look at the mirror, but the Christian nationalism that we're experiencing has been around since 313 AD. From the
Mhm.
moment that Christianity was co-opted by Constantine, turned
Mhm.
into basically an imperialist religion to colonize,
Mhm.
it was no longer Jesus's Christianity. And
Right.
think of it, the empire that killed him is now saying, "Hey, we've seen the light. Let's go
Mhm.
kill some people." Right through to the Spanish Catholic assholes who went and did all the shit to Latin America, right? So we shouldn't be surprised that, and I know it's very tough. We don't want to touch on religion, but we have to be fucking honest. It is a tool of empire
Yes.
just as much. Now, you can practice your Christianity, you can believe in Jesus. That's all good. If the whole idea of being a good person, not hurting other people, I get it. But that gets manipulated and then stretched into now you got to kill the brown people. That's where we got to really clip it, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, I'm animated, man. I'm sorry.
I mean, so much. Where do you want to start?
Oh man,
I mean,
so much to start.
you see what happened with Iran, right? And I guess that's kind of the latest with social media, and kind of
I
remind
don't
me of,
believe any of it.
you know,
I don't believe anything of what they tell us.
yeah, that's true. I mean,
Nothing.
I think it's probably like a small skirmish. I don't think it's the entire because I don't see Muslims burning a mosque.
Could you imagine that?
I don't think that. I think this is
No.
the United States, the CIA, and Mossad
Yeah, I mean,
operating. You know, there might be it's happening, but it's a small faction and a small section, and I think it's a social construct of like a test. Like, see, let's see how they behave. What happens when you turn off the internet on the rats, and how will they run through the maze, type of thing. And I think COVID was very similar. Let's see how people respond. 9/11. See how people
mhm.
respond when we do this. You know, it's a test kind of to see where are the humans at. Where
Well, you did boxing, right?
what's that?
You did boxing.
No, my father was a boxer. I
Your
studied
father
all.
was a boxer. Did you do any training in boxing
Yeah, when I was younger, but not
when you were younger?
professionally.
Okay,
Never,
so
never fought.
you're going to understand what I'm going to say next, right?
Yeah,
It's called a fake out.
yeah,
You do the fake out to see where the person's lacks their defense. So, do they drop their guard? If
mhm,
they do, then you time it so you can smack them.
yeah, yeah.
You're just doing it more on a social level,
Hmm.
right? So they're trying to see where they can where the soft points are for Iran.
Yes, exactly.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's almost kind of, I guess, a sort of a litmus test to see where these people are at. How do they respond to this? What do they respond to that? I've always said the shit will hit the fan here in the United States, because I think that that will happen one day too. They'll have a blackout, a media, internet blackout, where But I think our generation will be just fine. It might
well,
be the younger generations that'll freak out, but we were like, oh, thank God it's off.
well, I think it'll be, I mean, it was a tree that took out our grid in
Hmm.
2003.
Yes, that
Tree,
that lasted like
because
what, a month or
no
something.
money is invested in infrastructure. And
Hmm.
when they say infrastructure, we just go, well, okay, so what if a bridge falls? So what if a dam falls? Hey, but no one thinks, oh shit, if the grid goes, that means hospitals not having electricity. I mean,
Yeah.
they can have a backup generator, but the generator's not gonna last for fucking ever. You
Hmm.
know, it means all sorts of stuff. And I don't know if I didn't send you the video, but in California they had a blackout, and
Yeah.
those stupid AI cars couldn't move because
Right.
they couldn't read the lights.
Right.
Um, it, and I agree with you. I think that is, but I think that what unites our country, because we're a very big country, is our grid.
Hmm.
If that grid goes,
It's all over, baby.
that divides our country.
Yeah. Big
It
time.
sounds stupid,
Mhm.
maybe insane, but that's how I think anyway. I could be wrong.
No, I mean, especially the younger generations, how they were born with social media, born with cell phones, born with tablets. I think they would have a complete depression meltdown. What the fuck do I do with myself? Um,
Well,
I think people in our generation. I mean, I remember the very first time I lost my cell phone. It was like a Nextel Sprint, and I remember losing it at a powwow, and I was like, you know what? I feel so fucking good. Like, I felt like that's the best thing that could have ever happened to me.
right, right.
This is before Facebook, right? This is before,
Hmm.
that. But every time after that, when I lose my phone, I don't even get mad. I'm just like, oh, thank God, I got a day off, um, because it's so entwined, and not just for entertainment purposes, but even our lives. Like, my job is like, they're on WhatsApp all day. They don't even, they'll write you an email, but mostly it's like WhatsApp, and they're like, "Hey, you didn't respond to this message I wrote you." I'm like, "Well, I'm teaching a class. I'm not on my fucking phone."
Right.
But
While teaching a class.
while teaching a class, but they expect you to, just like this whole push with AI, they expect you to utilize it on every level. Like, now they're pushing it on teachers. Like, hey, just write your lesson plan. It's easier. What they don't tell you is like, yeah, you can, I use AI art and stuff like that, like,
Hmm.
playing around with it, kind of like, for me, it's experimentation. I'm actually getting bored of it now. But it's like, but when they're telling you, hey, use your lesson plans and to teach with AI, it's a great tool. But what they're not saying is, oh, well, that company now owns your um,
Lesson plan.
your lesson plan. That they can turn around and sell that.
Well, they
You
could
know,
try to turn around and sell it, but
you
anyone who
know?
can go on Google can get your lesson plan because apparently all those AI systems aren't secure, and that's
Right,
part of the problem. It's
right,
it's open to everything.
right,
Um, they're seeking to control us, and while they're seeking to control us, they're losing control.
right. It's kind of like squeezing sand in your hand, right? Most of it
Mm-hmm.
pours out.
Mm-hmm.
You might be able to grab onto a few grains, but then you try that with water, like information's like water. You can't really grasp water and hold it. You have to drink it fast, or else it slips through your fingers.
Like Bruce said,
You
be
know,
like water, my friend.
that's why I feel like
Be
water.
like water.
That's right.
Yeah.
So on one hand you have the sand, the other hand you have the water, and in both cases it's very little you can hold. The harder you squeeze, the more you lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what we're seeing on an international level.
Yes.
Because here's, and we got to talk about Greenland too, because so much to
Oh,
talk.
yeah, go ahead. Open it up.
This might be long. Forgive us. This might be a longer episode if you're cool with that, Ray.
No, I'm fine.
Um, but I think we should start with Venezuela, maybe.
Oh
And
yeah.
but
Yes.
I have a one that you have to share. This fuck. I don't as I tend to listen to all sorts of voices as long as they're reasonable. If they get like kind of like loopy, you're
Wonky,
out.
crazy. Yeah.
And there's one guy that always cracks me up, and I haven't always agreed with him, but his name is Garland Nixon, and he cracks me up because he had this thing. I'm going to share it with you. You're going to laugh. In which he said, I think I shared it with you already on Instagram, but I'll share it again with you, uh, and maybe you can put it up.
Let's see Instagram. I'm gonna go to
Let's
Instagram.
see if I sent it to you via Instagram. Oh yeah, I did.
Okay.
It was a screen capture. Garland Nixon. And this is the best line ever.
Is that after the submarines or before?
Before, like way before. It's like black with white text. And it has Garland Nixon. And I was just stitches over this. I'll read it out and then you can put it on the screen. So he says, I'm supposed to believe that Maduro was sitting on trillions in oil, but chose to sell drugs to make money.
Right, exactly. Doesn't make sense. Yeah.
It doesn't make
Doesn't make sense. I mean, not only that, but then like before the military invaded, he started arming the citizens like days before because he knew that this was a dictator doesn't arm their citizens.
No, man, they do not. And the thing is, they do not. What they do is they take your guns away, right? And
Right, they take the guns away,
take your guns away.
which is like you could see like this whole anti-gun movement is kind of setting up what's playing out right now. It wasn't successful, but what you have now is one party that has more guns than the other, which is not good. Because we've been convinced that you don't need weapons, you don't need this. And I've always been anti-gun personally because I grew up in a military family.
Me too.
I didn't need anyone to convince me that guns were a bad idea. I mean, it's like,
Well,
but they pushed it so hard that now it's like we're going to end up like Gaza. The Gaza war, if those people were armed, would be a totally different story and a different result. But you're basically bombing unarmed people. You had a few people in the beginning that had some weapons that were antiquated, but they're no longer around. And most of those fools walking around with Hamas uniforms are probably Egyptians masquerading because you don't see soldiers fighting any war or hear any weekly death count of soldiers like we do in Ukraine, right?
Well, I don't think they would. Even if they did, they wouldn't tell us. Part of warfare is the information. Like, that very
I mean, even social media, you would see like gunfires, shootouts.
right.
Like in the beginning of the war, you did see Hamas fighters filming themselves fighting the enemy, but that was very short-lived.
I just wonder how much of it the accounts that put it up get knocked down.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of that is, because the very famous quote, I know it's usually attributed to Malcolm X. He said, but it wasn't Malcolm X. It was a guy called Francis Bacon, not the artist.
Right.
He was a total British asshole.
Different bacon.
Different Bacon. He
Not
said,
Kevin Bacon.
he said, knowledge is power. You should take it as, oh yes, you got to get knowledge. What he meant, because he was an advisor, I think, to the Queen. He said he meant it as the withdrawal of knowledge.
Right.
So I think that's why I say I don't know what to believe anymore. We might be surprised. Oh shit, maybe the Israelis didn't do so good and they're getting their asses handed to them. They don't want to
Right.
show that, because that's also part of confidence. That's why people are getting like slammed out for trying to be reasonable and saying, hey, there's this realities in Ukraine. You're sanctioned. Oh, there's these realities in Gaza. You're sanctioned. Because how the empire has gotten down to now is perception wars.
Oh yeah. That's all it is.
But perception can only last so long before reality takes perception and rams it up the ass of the person who's trying to use it and
Right.
go, holy crap, what's that? And it leaves us more susceptible that when something actually, the reality does happen, we're all shocked going, where did that come from?
Right.
Right? It's like, oh, I'm sitting here like smoking and doing all this shit and my brain's fried. That wears out. And you're like, what am I doing outside of a window?
Right. Right.
Dangerous stuff,
Right.
even for the people the people using it. So yeah, I'm very distrustful. And what people don't understand as well, I think the reason we don't have boots on the ground in Venezuela,
Right.
or we're not sending boots on the ground,
Right.
is very, very simple.
Mm-hmm.
I think the morons using 200 soldiers and 150 planes
Right.
thought we're going to go take out Maduro and the government is going to collapse.
Right. And it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. It got strengthened, and they forgot one little thing, because they're morons.
They're morons. They're complete idiots.
The government is inspired by Chavez. Chavez has been dead for 10 years.
Right.
Anyone who's been dead for 10 years and his idea still continues, you're no longer fighting a person. You're fighting an idea.
You're fighting a concept. It's like you can kill the revolutionary, but you can't kill the revolution.
Right. And that's what they're dealing with. So others would have, demonic guys who are very intelligent, like Henry Kissinger, because he was a monster, but he was intelligent enough to go, yeah, I think that's gonna not be good.
Right.
They don't even have that intelligence. It's like gone.
But anybody that was an advisor to former presidents, I'm sure, try to advise these morons like, hey, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
I mean, we even knew that getting into invading Afghanistan and Iraq was a bad idea, but they did it anyway. It's like, morons. And that's what made George Bush so dumb. They really believed that, hey, we're going to win this in a few weeks, because they're listening to Bibi, who's telling them, hey, Saddam will fall. It'll be no big deal.
And then
it's like, in the end, we gave back the Taliban in Afghanistan.
Right. And in the end, I wasn't just Bibi, but it was Dick Cheney's greed.
Yes.
Because Halliburton, and he was part of Kellogg, Brown and Root, Halliburton, all these companies that he was tied up with, making gangbusters money off of the contracts.
Yes, exactly.
So.
And also, you had Enron. All the evidence that was in the FBI office just happened to be in 9/11. just like that drone that hit the Pentagon. It wasn't a plane. The drone that hit. There's no passengers, no dead bodies, no. I mean, that was a reinforced part of the building, Yeah.
And I just wish that when they've shown themselves to be liars, we just approach them as being liars. Like, instead of going, oh, Trump is going to do this, he says he's going to do this. The next question any thinking person should say is, all right, what are the steps?
Right.
And he's not going to give you steps. Oh, like when they asked him, so who's going to run Venezuela? And I don't know if you saw Rubio's face when Trump turned around. Oh, he's going to run it. He was like,
Oh man, what the fuck? Yeah. I'm gonna be the king of Venezuela. It's like what the fuck. This is the one of the clips that I saw that you posted to me. This one on President Trump. You wanna explain this one?
oh yeah. So Trump says we just had these great meetings with the oil executives, and they're gonna be with hundreds of millions and billions of dollars and a lot of money and all that crap.
Mhm.
Pieces there, what does it say? Oh yeah, the
A
whole
lot of money.
infrastructure. And then what happens yesterday? One of the Exxon executives comes out and says that Venezuelan oil is uh, uninvestable. In
Right.
other words, it's not worth it because the infrastructure is old. And the guy actually, I watched the actual clip. He's saying, "Well, we've been there before. We got burnt many times.
Right.
Unless Trump," and he literally doesn't imply it's like unless there's regime change or the government changes their mind, it's not worth it.
Right.
So what he's saying, we got to get boots on the ground to get the government out, end up in a quagmire to get stuff that basically is good for asphalt and heating because the oil grades are different. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just. I mean, not to mention China actually went with a bunch of lawyers to the World Court to basically file against the United States, and they're getting support. They're like, a lot of
And
people are like, like, what the fuck are you doing, U.S.? What's going on?
well, China's seeming like the rational character and stable character here.
Mm-hmm.
If you think of it from a business perspective, because business people, all they want is not problems. They want things stable.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking, well, you know what? The U.S. is unstable, crazy.
Crazy.
I'm gonna
This,
get into China's corner.
this is
And
the
by the
whole
way,
point of.
when you look at the chart of the oil that China gets,
Mm-hmm.
Venezuela doesn't even register.
Right.
So it's just like we got to stop them. Russia doesn't need it.
Right.
Russia has its own oil field,
Yeah.
which Russia mostly sells to China.
Right.
So all of this is just
It's stupidity.
acidity upon acidity.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's just so many lies. Like, oh, so for example, another lie. We went to capture two senior citizens with 200 guys. As soon as the story broke, oh, you saw the misogyny come out. Oh, she's a traitor. She betrayed him. This, that, the other. There's traitors. This, that, the other.
Right.
And no one was killed except
Right.
for some civilians. Then, as the story started to play out, oh,
Right.
okay. Oh, a bunch of civilians got killed. 75 soldiers got killed. Um, she never even so much was betrayed it. Delcy never even betrayed him.
Right.
And it turns out that the perfect mission, they went in, they just killed this brown people because they're incompetent. No one on our side got shot. Well,
Right.
there's a whole bunch there's about reported now seven soldiers that got injured.
Right.
So I'm sure there's some guys who got killed.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point you're going to find, oh, there's an accident and this soldier that was part of that group is dead. And this is how they're going to release their deaths because they never tell us outright. Yeah, he died there, sorry to see you. Yeah, bye. Because it's special forces. Why would they tell you, right?
Right. Right.
It's just we have to be a little bit more inquisitive when they say shit. It's like, yeah, I don't believe you. I think you're full of shit. Prove it to me.
Right.
That's it. Doesn't mean, oh, now I got to go listen to freaking like Glenn Beck
Mm-hmm.
and his spin. Just go like, I don't know, lay out the facts. Let's see what the facts are.
Yeah.
That's anyway.
See. And you have this one here that you sent, this clip here.
Oh, about Greenland.
We don't need Russia as our neighbor.
Dude, oh, I gotta send you this. I need to
Yes.
send you this. It's perfectly sums up Trump, by the way, in one image.
I think that's so fucking hilarious. You
In
know?
one image, and you will get this because I know you've been following the whole thing with Israel, right? So you
Yeah.
will get this image. Where did I go?
This one's funny too.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
The
Hey,
guy from
someone
Brooklyn
else
who
is gonna steal
steals
it.
land, right? If I don't do it, somebody else will. Shameful. The most
And,
shameful New Yorker ever.
and why does China, you know, we have to get over the fact that we think in the history of China.
Found it.
Oh, you found it. In the history of China, they haven't been really good expansionists. It's part of the geography, just how
Right.
they're locked. Two, they got 1.7 billion people. They don't want to adopt another 300 million people. I mean, they're just trying to they're just trying to do their shit. But we keep projecting our imperialism on them
Yeah.
for whatever freaking reason. I know why, because we can't look in the mirror.
Right.
And
Oh, we can look in the mirror, but we see someone else. We don't see ourselves.
no, we see Nosferatu. That's what we
That's
see.
what
You're like, damn.
too
You know,
small. You know,
it's
the fact that the younger people, the younger generation in their 30s or like, you know, in their late 20s and 30s are like, hey, man, it's so clear that we did 9/11 to ourselves. Why can't anyone else see it? Why doesn't it? It's like, no, we did. We did see it. It's just, yeah, it's like, but they just
y-
kept bombarding us with shit to make you feel like you're crazy, you know?
well, I think it's funny because a friend of mine, I don't know if he'll listen to this,
Mhm.
told me he was living in New York. Now he lives here in France. But he was telling me he was on the train going over the Manhattan Bridge that
Right,
day,
right.
and no one on the train was white. Everyone was black, black and Latino, and you could see the smoke coming out from the tower.
Hmm.
And he said a black lady just looked over and just said, "Who did we piss off now?" And I think within our communities, black and Latino, we're able to talk about stuff. So I think it's mostly white Americans who think, no, our government would never hurt us. Like what's happening right now in Minneapolis with the poor lady Renee Good that got shot. White people are like, whoa, wait a second. It's fascism. Fascism's coming to America. No, it's not. It's being desegregated, you know? And I think I remember living in Brooklyn. No one even dared, no one even thought of not thinking it wasn't us.
Right.
It was the only people I knew that would sort of push back against that were white Americans. They're like, our government could never do that to us. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, they got Jim Crow. They were like burning, killing black people. Look what they did in the Philippines. 1 million people they killed, right? Why are they not going
Yes.
to do it to you?
Right. Exactly. It's just like, and people don't remember that famous picture of this guy standing on 100,000 skulls with our
Oh, the buffalo skulls.
yeah, not just that, no, the human skulls, like in the Philippines too. Like, you
Oh,
know, it's just, you know, he, oh, that's another one. Just like, oh, this guy is like, you know, standing on all these heads, corpse, you know, all these Filipinos dead, you know, like all these
yeah,
skulls. That's
yeah,
America.
yeah,
That's white supremacy.
yeah.
You
And,
know?
and, and and from my perspective, and we can get into the Greenland thing now.
Yes.
We'll segue into it, right?
So
Uh,
before we do that, I want to share this real quick.
sure.
This post here, which didn't get as much attention as you know.
Oh, yes, that man. I saw his daughter came out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So this
not
happened
after all.
first, right? This happened before,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
this guy was his neighbor was an ICE agent. They got into an argument. The guy shot him. Like, what the fuck? So it's like, so now you can murder your neighbor and in an argument, and as long even if you're a police officer, if you recall that case where that cop came home drunk and then she walked into the wrong apartment because the door was
yeah,
open and thought that someone broke into her house and the dude's watching TV eating popcorn and then shoots him.
yeah, yeah. I remember that.
She went to fucking jail. but
I
you're an
remember that.
ICE
And I remember
agent.
that a lot of the same people who were villainizing Renee
Yeah, yeah,
tried to play defense for her.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff. It was this
Hmm.
year. I don't know. Was that, you didn't send
Pretty
that.
much. Pretty much.
I mean, there's so much shit out there, you know. Like this is a glut of crap on it, but that's
Well, and that's the thing. I think AI was not necessarily developed to make our society run better, like technological wise.
right.
I think what they were thinking is we can cut back on our soft power in terms of
Yeah.
Hollywood films, and then we're just gonna pump into the internet all these fake videos so you won't
Mhm.
know what's real or not. And this way, in the chaos, we get to rule.
Yeah.
This is what I think it was for. It's, you know, um, I know it's an asshole way of thinking, but sometimes my late brother, who loved chess, really good at it, would say, "Don't always just look at the chessboard from your perspective as you would
Right.
play. Try to think of it from the other guy who's playing against you,
Right.
their
Exactly.
perspective." So sometimes we have to do that, and I think that's what they were doing, because it's shit. I mean, like everything just slows down. The tech is just awful. They're calling it micro slop now. The whole new micro Windows 11, they're just cutting it up. It's just not really all that good. And it's nothing really new.
Right.
Oh, I want to make myself into a cartoon. We had those filters like 10 years ago,
Right.
right? The only thing it did is it animated you. Whew, all right. But it's not really that big of a jump. So what would be the end result of it? Okay, this is part of the war on us. It's
Which
part
I've
of
been saying for a long time, way back before even Trump. I used to say this all the time. Like, this is not a war about red versus blue. This is a war of the rich
versus the
versus
poor.
the poor, and the elimination of the middle class. That's it.
Mhm.
That's what it's always been about. It's always
Well,
been about that. You know.
and the middle class was a convenient mirage
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
to
It wasn't that powerful to
basically,
begin with.
yeah, divide and conquer, because that's also part of warfare too, right?
And you got George Floyd here. If you look at this,
17 minutes. I saw that.
isn't that
So she
crazy?
died a 17-minute walk away from where he died.
Yeah. I mean that, and
Now, I don't know how big Minneapolis is, right? Big
right.
Prince fan, but I don't know how big it is. So,
And that goes to show you that humans themselves, we are like algorithms, right? If we don't learn the lessons, we're doomed to repeat it. And clearly, we thought we learned that lesson of Black Lives Matter, but clearly
no.
not, because this other pushback. We have the White Lives Matter
Well,
from Donald Trump. I mean, it's like, but the whole political movement behind that, you see the different reaction. Like when white people see white people rioting, they don't respond the same way as when they see black people rioting.
of course.
October 7th is seen as patriotic to many white people, right?
Mhm. You mean January 6th?
January 6th, sorry, all these
Yeah.
dates. January 6th. Whoops. January 6th. Sorry.
Right.
October 6th, January is like this. So yeah, when they invaded the Capitol, they're like, hey, this is our right. This is our house. We're gonna kill Nancy Pelosi and hang Mike Pence. That's seen as patriotic. But
Right.
like a bunch of people fighting for George Floyd or demonstrating peacefully. I mean, were there riots? Yeah, but a lot of that stuff was orchestrated, paid for, paid. It's like you have all these people, the agitators that went out there to just fuck shit up. Then you have just people who are not in any type of movement that just wanted to just take advantage and just dumb assholes that just wanted to, like, hey, let's rob Target, let's destroy Target. Those aren't protesters. Those are regular folks that are just like, fuck it, shit's going crazy.
Well,
So I mean, you have a lot of different components of that, but the same thing. Nobody looks at no, you know, yes, people do look at January 6th and say this was bad, people died, whatever. But these people that put this asshole back in power, Trump, don't see it that way. I mean, he even let these people go free from prison. Like, hey, you're free to go. You get out of jail free card, you know?
Well, I have some thoughts about that. They're not going to be your standard thoughts.
That's fine.
I can tell you. Again, all these, we're looking at the pieces on the board, but we're not looking at the hands that move the pieces.
Right.
So when we say all humans, it's like there was a little meme that was going around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
That it was a glass and it was empty and had a note on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it said, "Dear optimists and pessimists, while you were both arguing, I drank the water. Signed, opportunist." So when you step back, who are funding these certain groups like January 6th? Actually, January 6th looked like a test for a color style revolution. If you know about color revolutions, we've done them in many different places. The thing is, when I saw it, I thought, these guys are testing the waters to see if you can pull some shit like that stateside. Right. And we have to understand, yes, all those people that you talk about all get in there. But there were also a lot of federal agents that were hanging out in that crowd too as well. And we should be suspicious as to why are these federal agents hanging out and doing this stuff. So it's manufactured and curated. So what we're dealing with is, yes, we do go at each other, but who does it benefit and who puts it out into the media and makes it the mainstream story?
Absolutely.
These are the real supervillains in our lives.
Right. And
So
these are the rich and powerful, basically wanting to steal our tax dollars and keep us fighting with each other while they continue to change laws, take away our freedoms, and
the very famous dog eat dog and survival of the fittest. It was a whole. There was a guy who was teaching. He was either in Princeton, obscure guy back in the early 19th century. And the robber barons were so worried because they're like, how do we morally justify all this money that we're making? The poor are going to want to eat us up. So somehow they learned about this guy and they started to promote his ideas of survival of the fittest, dog eat dog. And it got so seeped into the culture that, and you'll notice this, if you talk to someone who's more on the far right, they'll say, in nature, wolves do this. Well, I say to that, first of all, whenever you hear in nature, what follows next is going to be really dumb. But I'll say, tell me the next time a fucking wolf can manufacture a car and ride it.
Right.
This nature comparison stuff, but they've gotten us into this argument. And then what we do, those who are want to be more compassionate, because I think it's also about compassion, we try to argue with them, well, look at this and this and that example, instead of saying, that's just the stupidest thing I've ever heard in terms of biology. It's not even worth answering. Right. But we have to be aware that there are sinister things at play by people who are very selfish. I think we look at people, and sure enough sign is how people look at Elon Musk.
Right.
He could be harmless, right? But in his harmlessness, he does a lot of harm. I don't think he's harmless in terms of how he thinks and views things. And I think we tend to view these people like they're us. Again, that collaboration. It's like Stockholm syndrome. And
yes.
So we're putting it out there. We have the best way to get over that divide. Those who might be part of the January 6th, who are slowly starting to open up, is tell them, you've been a stupid dummy. Don't you see the game? And those who don't, there's no point wasting your breath, because you're never going to win over a zealot. Never. Never.
And with that, I want to share this video here. Which
Sure.
This is what the rest of the world is thinking, what most Americans aren't paying attention to. Let's see if we can.
President Trump has behaved like a member of a criminal gang, bombing Venezuela, a sovereign country, kidnapping its head of state and its family, and killing many in the process. Where next? Colombia, Cuba, Mexico, Panama, Greenland? Here? Does my right honourable friend agree that if we do not stand up to deviants and bullies like Trump, they will only be emboldened to repeat their illegal acts elsewhere?
And
President
you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that in American media. There was one more, but you don't see this on Fox News, right? It's like
No.
you're not listening. They're not showing you what the rest of the world is thinking about America. They want you to think, oh yeah, America's heroic. The world is the rest of white America, not white America, but the rest of the white world is in support of us and all the bullshit that we do. And that's just not the case. That's it. There is just, it's just not the case. We're living in a bubble, and the bubble's getting smaller. I mean,
there's something I want to talk about because I live on the other
right
side.
there. You're there. That's the other side of the lake. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh boy, it's interesting. The far right in all across Europe, immediately that Maduro was taken out. So in my other country, Spain,
Mhm.
the current government, he's socialist. To me, he's a centrist, really.
Mhm.
So they were showing, they had used AI to reconfigure it to make it look like the president of Spain was being captured. And there were actual calls from the far right to bomb the government in Spain, to then have Trump, and actually calling Trump to invade Spain. Same thing in England, same thing, yeah, all throughout all of Europe.
Really?
So they have shown themselves for the traitors that I always thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
They are the ones who are really in power, and they've been in power in Europe since after World War II because we put them there.
Right.
And they know that if we pull away, like that gentleman is pointing out, because there's a struggle within Europe, it isn't so
Right.
clear cut. Each country has its thing.
Right. Of course.
That their little party is up. But they're openly, these guys who always drape themselves in the Spanish flag and Spanish this, Spanish that.
Right.
And I actually had to call out a Spanish troll. I'm like, who was trolling a representative, literally calling them traitors on the floor of the Spanish government, parliament. And he was like poking fun at him, saying, supporting Trump. I'm like, so let me get this straight. You're cutting him up.
Right.
To kiss our ass? Like,
Right.
how are you a patriot? Like, I have no problem if you want to be patriotic, but once you supplicate yourself
Right.
to someone else, you can no longer be this macho right. You're a revolting gimp, right? So it's all throughout Europe. So I had some other friends who were pointing out to me in UK, it's the same thing. Forget here in France, because Le Pen actually came out and said, well, I'm against it. The only reason she said is she's against it is she's not in power. If she was in power, she would be, cool with it, because she's also our puppet. She hangs out with Bannon, by the way. Maloney, she came out saying some gibberish about, in Italy, came out saying some gibberish about, what to do, this, that, the other. And right now, because of Greenland, all the European leadership is looking feckless.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are, so you're supporting in Venezuela, but you want to fight them back in Greenland? Like, how's that freaking consistent?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of Europeans are shocked, like, whoa, I thought that Americans were our allies. To which do I say to that, any European who listens to this, when Black Americans and Indigenous Americans and brown Americans were being screwed over this whole time that you were watching Friends and you were thinking that America was this image of whiteness, what in your skull thought that you wouldn't be next on the menu? And I'll answer that. Your whiteness.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you realize your whiteness doesn't mean shit to the empire, now you're panicking.
Right.
So
Exactly.
it's like, dude, I've seen Spanish people now actually on the left actually putting out shit about, well, this is their history. I'm like, hello, we've been saying this to you the whole time.
Forever.
There's a great quote from my cousin, because my cousin is Langston Hughes through marriage.
Really?
He said, "You don't have to tell the American Negro about fascism. We know it well." Something to that effect.
You're related to Langston Hughes? Holy
Yep.
shit. I've never known that.
Yeah. Oh,
Why aren't you doing poetry instead? That's instead of
well, you know,
instead of comics.
it doesn't happen that way, right? So I'm finishing up. As soon as he's finishing up that book, editing the book, because it's a lot of history. It's a lot of history.
Yeah.
You know, it starts out with the white side, and then it goes into the black side, and what we had to go through. And Langston's one of many people that I'm related to. There's other people, like for example, one of my great great granduncles was one of the first black people to be elected into office after the Civil War during Reconstruction. There's a
Wow.
whole Senate hearing as to the attempted assassination of him.
Wow.
So this is very personal for me. This is why I get very angry with white liberals or anyone that brings up Nazi Germany. It's
Right.
like, we're not becoming this. We've always been this.
Always been this.
You know,
Yeah.
always been this.
Yeah. It's just it's like people are looking through the world, the United States with rose-colored glasses. And you know what it is? It's like I was
We
telling
put the glasses on them.
we put them on. Well, they sold them to us, right? Because
Yeah.
the United States is a corptocracy, right? So
Yep.
we don't have a president; we have a CEO, right?
Yep.
And
From the
most
beginning.
of our senators are like CEOs themselves or on other companies, and there's a lot of conflict of interest. And this is where everything went wrong. We went from the farmer being a representative, or like to
We
like,
were never the farmer.
well, you know what I mean. Like the farmer was rich, not the,
Yeah, we were never the farmer.
but it was like,
And the farmer was a slave owner.
and the most slave owners. Well, I'm thinking like Richard Nixon. His family were farmers, right? He was
Well, they were Quakers, and the
You know.
Quakers were awesome. He
right.
was a rotten apple.
So yeah. So when I say farmer, I'm not talking about like colonialism, slave. Yes, that is
Yeah.
true as well. But I think about like 20th century. We had a president that was a farmer, right? He grew up on a poor farm,
Mhm.
And I'm no fan of Nixon, but compared to what we have today, he had integrity, even though he opened the doors to China. He did a lot of
Well,
interesting stuff. I mean, did he bomb Cambodia? Did he bomb Laos? Did he continue the war in Vietnam? Did he start the war on drugs? He did a lot of terrible racist shit. And no way I'm validating him, but but you can have a president that came from humble beginnings, from poverty to
well,
you
the
know.
thing with Nixon, though, that's very interesting is that he started to get his feet into the elite circles during the war.
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently, he was in one of the boats he was on. There were some OSS guys, which OSS is now today the CIA.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't for those guys, you'd never have been there. There's a select few, and this is what we have to understand.
Yeah.
January 6 people didn't put them there.
Right.
We did not, or anyone else did not put Obama there.
Right.
We have an electoral college. The
Right.
electoral college decides, yeah, I don't think so. We're going to change our mind. We freaking do it all the time.
And that's also from slavery too. I mean, that 1/5 of a person, or whatever it was, and they're trying to return that too. That you hear these Republicans saying, women shouldn't vote. Only the head of the household should be able to vote, not the entire family, not all the.
And then they're going to get to only Jeff Bezos and
Right.
Elon Musk.
Right.
And these guys will be sitting there, and pardon my crass expression, holding their dick in their hand.
Literally.
Going,
well, it's going
wait
to
a
get cut
second.
off because this is not 1960. People are not going to tolerate this stuff.
Well,
I mean, in the
we won't.
1960s, people were starting to wake up to it. Even though it was a small percentage of people.
Yeah.
History kind of plays it back like it was the majority of Americans. It wasn't.
No, it was not.
You don't need the majority of Americans to do it. You just need 1/3, if that, to wake people up.
Actually, there was a study that came out. In order to have, if you can have a revolution with only 10% of the population, The American War of Independence only really had 10% of the population. The South was more loyalist to the British.
Right.
The North was
President
more
Trump
like,
has behaved like
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, no worries. The North was more radical. And
Right.
it's funny because when you go back to colonial times, the North was more religious and the South was less religious.
Yes.
And then it flipped.
Yeah, it flipped. Well, you see that happening too, because you have a lot of Northerners that are ultra religious moving to the South. I know a lot of people that were Democrats when they lived here moved to the South, friends and family that became, Republican. So, and it just goes to show you that how many people are like my students call them NPCs, right? Kind of like it's like
Non-player characters.
yeah,
For those who
it's
don't
like
know.
it's like you just kind of become an NPC. And
You just want to fit in.
people want to just fit in. People want to identify with a group, or it's a group think. People long to be ants. They don't want to be individuals. Because when you're an individual, you get laughed at, you get picked on, ostracized. But I don't mind it. It's fine. I'm just like, yeah, I'm your party fucking clown. So what? But don't shoulders length, distance.
Yes.
Punched in the face.
My thing is like,
I'm like homie the clown.
I don't
just
even show up to the party.
right.
I don't even show up to the party. You want to go to the party? Not really.
Right.
I've been like that since I was going, not really.
Right.
Come on, go. Nah, fuck off.
This is the other clip from that another session that was
President Trump's actions are not about drugs, they are about oil. They are not about regional stability, they are about regional dominance. And they are not about upholding the law, they are about breaking it. The Foreign Secretary has said that the government has been clear, but she has not been clear on any of those 3 points. The world has changed this weekend, and it will change again very quickly. So can the Foreign Secretary say whether there is a single strategic decision or practical step that this government has taken in the last 72 hours to shore up our national security or that of our allies, especially Denmark?
Well, we've got discussions going on the coalition of the willing, the preparations for them as we speak, the discussions being taken tomorrow. Those are all about strengthening our national security as part of strengthening Ukraine's national security.
so you could see that there's a little fear and concern about what the fuck is the US doing? We have to protect ourselves against the US, and we don't see this
There's
on
a problem.
television sets,
Because a lot of Europeans I'm seeing, it's funny because all of a sudden now a lot of the pro-American Europeans are becoming anti-American and Gaullists. Gaullist meaning Charles de Gaulle. Charles de Gaulle didn't fucking trust us. Don't blame him because we did some shit. We tried to kill him actually a few times.
Right.
Yet, like I think it wasn't all just us, but there was like 48 different assassination attempts that he survived.
Right.
So there's stuff, but he said that back then in '65, I can find you the quote and we can talk about it maybe next week. He said that pretty much that the United States is cowering Europe. And here's the other reality. There's over 200 American military bases in Europe. So if you're thinking of it from the perspective of chess, it's like, it's just not Greenland. It's all the way to freaking Germany. And Germany has 50,000 or something American troops.
And you got
So
Katie Miller with this.
oh yeah, I saw that.
It's like, what the fuck?
I saw that. What's interesting about Greenland, and this is what I think is gonna do it here in Europe anyway.
Right.
Two things: how they react to it, because there's
Right.
some who are talking we should just give Greenland to the Americans, which is stupid because we already have military bases there anyway. It's
Right. It doesn't make
it's like, dude, I'm gonna take over my summer home. It's like it's your summer home. Like
right.
this isn't a big of adventure.
Right. Right. Or saying, oh, we're going to take over Taiwan. It's like, well, you already give military support to them. Why do you have to govern it?
Yeah,
It doesn't make any sense. Or we're going to take over Puerto Rico. Well, technically, you already.
like, hey man, I'm gonna take over my living room.
Right.
What?
It doesn't make
That
any sense.
sounds stupid.
And the Greenlanders don't really want them there.
No, they
To be
don't. And
honest.
Greenlanders just don't even want Denmark. The indigenous population wants to leave.
Mhm.
But what's interesting about this is if the European leadership cows,
Right.
they're fucked with their population
Mhm.
all throughout Europe because they're
Right.
not happy with the United States. And those are opposition people because Keir Starmer is in a position like, well, we'll send troops. If they send troops, NATO's screwed. And
Right.
if NATO's screwed, let me tell you the repercussions of that happening. Turkey, who's a NATO member,
Mhm.
will no longer have to look at Israel as an ally. And this is going to become very complicated because Turkey has a history of like, yeah, I'll help you. Oh shit, I'm sorry I did that to you, man.
Right.
So it just creates this rip right through. It's not a smart move. Anyone can see that. There was a representative on the and our government's floor was saying exactly that. It's just stupid. Why are we doing this? You know. But yeah, the world is not happy by it. They're horrified. There's actually people calling. I saw a former Spanish politician who was saying, we have two silver bullets we could use to mess up the United States. One, getting over ourselves and making a friendship and partnership with who? China.
Right.
And two, we own a good deal of those 36 trillion bonds or whatever US bonds we could just dump and move away from the currency of the United as the US dollar as the reserve currency. And then he said, not that we're going to do it, but the options are there.
Right.
You know,
I mean, I thought was interesting is that when they captured Maduro, they had all these AI videos that are being released everywhere. It's like, what did the guy change his clothes 5 times? It's like they had him in different outfits, like a Nike uniform. They had him in like a prison outfit. It's like all this stuff was like, what the hell's going on?
I didn't even believe they captured him at first.
Yeah, because it was just like
Well,
they
like,
were
whatever.
literally. You got the government, the White House releasing AI video pictures. It's like, and
Oh
these
my God.
politicians releasing AI images of him being captured. Like, it's
So
just
we see what AI then is going to be used for is to try to shape our perceptions,
yes,
false perceptions. And it's not new per se, because you remember in the 70s, there was a committee called the Church Committee
right,
because the CIA got nailed. It was exposed. His name was Senator Church. These assholes, and there's a video that goes out there, former CIA agent talking about this. This is what they do. They come up with a fake story,
right,
feed it to the foreign press.
right,
Of course, the newspapers of the United States would go, oh my God, this is happening. Never happened. And then publish it in our newspapers.
right, exactly.
So AI is just like cut all the middleman out and will just shape your perception.
Right, exactly. Did you see that thing about the protester being interviewed on television and then they arrested her?
Yes.
And I thought that was pretty
Yes,
crazy
I
too.
saw
Like,
that.
This is not just a foreign issue, it's our tax dollars that are also being used to commit these war crimes. It is also the duty of us, the people, to stand against the Trump regime, the Trump administration that are committing crimes both here in the US and against people in Venezuela.
Now, in the background of this interview, you could see that police car. And now right here, we're showing you video we have immediately after the interview finished. Plickta was arrested by 2 Grand Rapids police officers. You can see it in the video. And an officer tells Plickta that she is being arrested for obstructing a roadway and failure to obey a lawful command from a police officer. You can see as she's taken away in that car. She was issuing a number of messages about wanting the U.S. to free Maduro. But again, she was taken away by police officers there. And you can see in this video, officers were closely following this procession in downtown Grand Rapids. We have reached out to GRPD for more information about the arrest, but we have not heard back so far.
I mean, what the? You're blocking our roadway. That's like, What? She's being interviewed by the news. Did you see anyone walking on that street?
It looked pretty snowy, so I don't think anyone's going to be out walking. It's amazing that she was out there doing what she was doing.
Right.
You know?
I mean, and she's like, I'm not resisting arrest. They try to charge her for resisting arrest. Oh, you're not listening to an officer. It's like, whatever happened to, well, I'm answering my own question. This is Patriot Act, but it's like, whatever happened to like saying, hey, why am I being arrested? They had to tell you that, but ever since the Patriot Act after 9/11, by asking the question, why am I being arrested? Which you're lawfully allowed to do. You're now it's considered resisting arrest. But she didn't say that. She says, I'm not resisting arrest.
Well, there's a saying, when the law becomes tyranny, revolution becomes necessary.
Yeah.
So they're doing this now, but I can tell you.
Fred Hampton that said that?
Yeah. And they're doing this now, but
yeah.
If they ever get an IRA, if our country ever gets an IRA,
right?
These guys, these cops ran out of New Orleans,
right,
during Katrina. When Katrina and the jail broke free, they had to bring in black water.
Right.
They ran, when all of a sudden now the other side has guns and crap, they run. And I fear for our country because we don't really have something to rally around. We have two things to rally around, really. I want to be a psychopathic, get my way, get my rocks off, mean little asshole. And I just want things to be normal. I want to be compassionate and kind to my fellow man.
Yeah.
And then you have the third one, which is above those two, laughing their ass off because they get to control shit.
Right. I mean, it's like in the 90s, we had the Bloods and the Crips. Now you have the Republicans and the Democrats.
Right.
It's like,
right.
And then you get this guy here. This guy's like,
it's just,
I really got to blame Obama, start a war, blame the media. It's like,
well, did you notice that after the strike on Venezuela, Hegg said some shit about Russia? See, Russia couldn't do that.
Right.
And I thought, what the fuck are you talking about Russia for? And then something hit me. Well, because there's a lot of news that isn't happening. Usually someone like Hegseth, because I know those type of jock type mentality, they're stupid.
Right.
It was something must have happened in Ukraine that we were humiliated, that they don't want to talk about, that he brought that up. You don't say that unless someone has kicked you in the balls.
Right.
And that's the sort of way that they think, right? Like very macho. It's like, why bring them up? Russia couldn't do that. What does Russia have to do with Venezuela, right? Other than they're just a partner.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
but yeah, that's where we're at as a world. It's funny. I'm noticing a lot of my videos are blocked. I'm like, wait a second, what's going
on Facebook?
Yeah, like a lot of the videos I posted are like totally like things I want to share. I gotta like you can't see them anymore. Like you have to click on. Well, I could click on the link. Let me see.
You have to try to find different browsers.
Yeah.
Or different. Yeah, not browsers, but the search engines. Google's just shit now.
Like what's going on? It's like totally.
Maybe we're gonna get IDF'd again, or IDF.
Right. Right. That's like.
I don't fucking know what happened. Right.
Right. Are you there? Are you there? Can you hear me?
Are you there?
That's I mean, the news showed all these people supporting Venezuela that actually weren't in Venezuela celebrating. If you know,
Oh, dude, I got some stories to tell you about the Spanish side, but go ahead and show this.
This one is.
Que viva Venezuela libre, camarada. Que viva Venezuela de los patriotas, la Venezuela revolucionaria, la Venezuela del Chávez y la Venezuela de nuestro hermano presidente Nicolás Maduro Moro, camarada. Y ya que las instituciones internacionales dejen de ser alcahuetes y se hagan un pronunciamiento real, porque están masacrando un pueblo que lo que ha querido justicia, un pueblo que ha luchado por una vivienda digna, un pueblo que ha ayudado por la alimentación, cuando nos quitaron todos los de nuestros hijos. Hoy en día le decimos a esas instituciones internacionales que se pronuncian, porque ese gobierno norteamericano no es la policía del mundo y los venezolanos lo vamos a demostrar. Esto no es con un presidente, es con un pueblo digno, camarada, que aquí está presente. ¡Que viva la patria de Bolívar! ¡Libre!
So, very different from what we're being fed.
Well, we got all the weight.
Ready to go against you. You know, they're not afraid. They're not celebrating. They're like, hey, you come at us. It's like
a country 3 times the size of Iraq, jungle terrain.
Yeah.
We've been trying to mess and try to get rid of the FARC rebels and their next door neighbor, Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
They've been there since 1964. We haven't been able to defeat the FARC rebels.
Right.
In terms of, I thought it was going to be
Supersize me.
Yeah, it was freaking old. I'm like, whoa. So I'm like, you're going to go and do what? Like, do these guys not do any assessments? Like, reality doesn't matter.
Because they're reality television personalities that are running the country. It's
exactly. I thought it was going to be a clip of some of the Venezuelans outside of the country saying shit about the country, which for whatever reason, they all go to the same plastic surgeon.
Right.
You know, because there's some, and they've actually managed to piss off a lot of people in Spain.
Right.
So Spain took in 200,000 Venezuelans, fast-tracked them, a lot of them for permanent residence or full-on citizenship.
Right.
Hooked them up with, the ability to get work, all the shit. So a lot of them are out on the street. I'm not going to say every Venezuelan that was out is thinking this, but there's a portion of them out on the street calling Spain communist, calling the actual president a son of a bitch, and saying first Venezuela, now Spain.
Right.
Which, by the way, in Spain, anyone who says that, who's a citizen or a resident, is punishable by the law from 15 to 20 years.
Right.
So a lot of Spaniards are like, well, wait a second. You mean to fucking tell me we bring you guys in here, now you're calling us communist? Well, we let you fast track in over other people. We gave you all this shit, and you're calling for us to get bombed by Trump?
Right.
And here's my thing. A lot of young Venezuelan men, very capable young men, want to free Venezuela. My grandfather died under house arrest in Spain. I remember asking my mom why he didn't leave, because he had an opportunity to leave to go to England. And he said he didn't want to leave because he believed staying in the country and fighting in the country to improve it was more important than his own personal safety. Now, I admire my grandfather deeply. I never met him for that. Do I share that? I'm like, I'm not that noble. But if you're really that passionate about your fucking country and you're of age to pick up a gun and go do some shit, don't ask someone else to go do it for you, because that's called being a coward. Pick up, go, fight and struggle. Don't sit and have your little margaritas and dance in Miami and do all this other shit. You're capable of fucking doing it. That's what you want to do. But what you're doing by inviting someone else to come in, that would be us.
Right.
We're going to colonize you. Then you can't bitch that we're over there doing all this shit.
Right. Exactly.
So,
and I don't know if you heard that leaked video, like on the Trump. It's very short, but like
not releasing the Epstein files. Fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care what you do. Start a fucking war. Just don't let them get out. If I go down, I will bring all of you down.
This sounds a little rough. Are you feeling?
It's like what the and you know what that really comes down to is what's this really about? You know, it's like start a war, I don't care. It really comes down to.
Well, there was a Dutch comedian I saw online. He fucking had me laughing, man. He said Denmark needs to rename Greenland to Epstein Island.
Yeah.
And Trump will forget about it real fast.
Or they even calling it Trump land, right? But we know that this is Epstein's Epstein's-Wella. It's like they posted that on.
And it's wild. Like,
you're not fooling anybody, right?
Our country took a guy, said he was a criminal, took him, brought him over on these charges.
Yeah, which already failed.
Failed because
it's already like
de los Soles or whatever freaking
doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. And everybody was like, "Oh, he's a drug dealer. He's this. He's that." And guess what? The charges are left that they're going to charge him with. This is the cherry on the fucking joke. The cherry on top of the pie of the joke. Machine guns. Owning machine guns. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, that's all we have.
They're gonna have to release him. China's already announced for them to release him. You know, China has said you need to release Maduro.
Yeah.
Or else. I mean, and you posted this also, like about all the coups, the military coups that we've had. You know, that's our whole history. This is like, you know, we always act like we're the good guys, but come on now. You got Cuba, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua. Panama, right? And you can talk when you talk about Nicaragua, then you talk about Iran and giving weapons to Iran.
Now, I don't think that would include
drugs, you know.
Does that one include Guatemala?
Yeah, it says 1954 Guatemala.
That's right. Yeah.
Panama, Haiti, Peru. I mean, I think what's happening in Haiti is us too, you know, right?
Oh man.
You know? Yeah, Dominican Republic, Venezuela, 2002, and now you got 2026. Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay. It just goes on and on. This is not and that just, they don't teach you these things in high school history. Very little of it. They don't really go into it. They might talk about the Cuban Missile Crisis or
which by the way, the Cuban Missile Crisis, because my dad lived through that.
Yeah.
My dad has this hilarious story. If you don't mind me, it's a very short story.
Go for it.
So he was in the armed forces at the time, Air Force. He dealt with radar.
Yeah.
And he says, "Son, you know, I get into the base, do my shift." And the base commander says, "No one can leave because we might be at war with Russia." He's like, "What?" Because it just happened. So he sits down at the radar. He said he spent the entire radar, that entire Cuban Missile Crisis, staring at the screen, thinking, "Oh shit, the Russians are going to come." And the base at the time in Spain didn't have any defenses. So it's like literally, if they bomb us, we have no defense. We're screwed, right?
Right.
And he later then told me afterwards, many years, he said, it really is the Cuban Turkey missile crisis. Because what's left out is that we first put our nuclear weapons in Turkey. Russia said, "Oh, you're coming into my freaking like neighborhood. Let me go over to your fucking neighborhood." And then we put it in Cuba. That's what caused it. And when we say Cuban Missile Crisis, we only put it on the Soviets in terms of like they were just being this big irrational bad guy. No, motherfucker, you went over there and you spilled his drink. And he was like, "I'll spill your drink." Right? And that's part of that is often not taught to us about that either. So we're taught half truths and not full truths.
Right. And then when we get into the whole world situation, it really comes down to the banking systems, right? So
yeah,
look at gold this week, and silver was like record, talking about record highs. I mean, look at.
And I think it should be higher. I think the reason it's not higher, I think it's because it's in the system itself, like Wall Street. They do their best to suppress it. For those who know about whales, whales are like these entities that go. They can be big corporations or banks that, on the shadow side, buy up stuff to or suppress the price of something.
Right, right.
So that's what I think. I could be wrong, but I think it should be even higher than what it is.
Apparently, after we, went in there, we actually stole their silver, and London has given access to Venezuela's gold to the United States, and it's like, this was about drugs.
And at the same time saying, oh, they're going to take Greenland. That's why everyone's like, wait a second, motherfuckers.
Right.
Over here.
Right.
So we're going along with this heist while they're telling us that they're going to rob us. Like, how does that make sense? Please help me make sense.
Yeah. And to give that context, what you just said, we have this pinhead over here.
Oh
God. Hold your breath. The insanity.
What the president said is true. The United States of America is running Venezuela. By definition, that's true. Jake, we live in a world in which you can talk all you want about international niceties and everything else. But we live in a world, in the real world, Jake, that is governed by strength, that is governed by force, that is governed by power. By definition, we are in charge because we have the United States military stationed outside the country. We set the terms and conditions. We have a complete embargo on all of their oil and their ability to do commerce. So for them to do commerce, they need our permission. For them to be able to run an economy, they need our permission. So the United States is in charge. The United States is running the country during this transition period. The United States is using its military to secure our interests unapologetically in our hemisphere. We're a superpower, and under President Trump, we are going to.
I can't take it.
I want to bring up. I suppress high school, Miguel. If it was about strength, and this world is about strength, and law doesn't matter.
But it's like might is equals right.
He would not have made it to his age.
No, of course not, because he looks like a weenie.
He would have been a skull on someone's hood ornament somewhere. And for him, such a little weak man, little Pee Wee Herman looking guy, to talk about strength when laws are the things that defend people like him is beyond insane. But it just shows, because he's got a bunch of armed guards who protect him and the laws that protect him. He sits there like a little shit saying all this stuff. It's wild to me that he can't even see it because he's drunk on power. In terms of us controlling this oil through embargoes, there were 15 ships that already were taking oil out of there, and we don't have
exactly
the same capabilities that we used to, thanks to idiots like him.
Right.
So now I can put high school Miguel back into me, and I can drop the machismo. It's like, dude, what are you talking about strength? You're like 5'2", and 5'2" and like weigh 90 pounds wet.
Right. It's
strength. Well, I guess maybe that's why he has to talk about it.
The guy's been talking about high school. There was a clip that someone played of him in high school, and
I saw that years ago. Yeah, it was Jimmy
a fool.
Jimmy Kimmel.
I mean, Jimmy Kimmel's one that played. I mean, so this so-called embargo, they have to ask our permission. You got 16 oil tankers from Britain.
Voila.
Like you said, the spice must flow, right?
Spice must flow. That's why I love Dune. Dune is such a cynical, critical nightmare of what we're really living through.
I mean, this guy is saying all this shit, but the reality is that people are still getting their stuff.
You're a teacher. By profession, you're a teacher. As a kid, I've been a teacher too, but I haven't been a substitute teacher. Right. But maybe to put it much simpler, they're like the substitute teacher trying to get the classroom to pay attention.
Yeah.
And the kids are like, yeah, whatever. Anyway.
Right.
I'm the teacher. You must listen to me. And then the spitball hits them in the head.
Yeah. I think as a teacher who is taught from pre-K to prison, I think that every teacher goes through that And if you survive, you have to abandon that philosophy almost immediately, because you're not going to survive long term. You're going to drive yourself into the ground crazy, or you're going to just scare a bunch of fucking kids. And
get shit.
You know, it's and no one's going to like you. So where I work currently, I'm dealing with a few individuals that are like that, and being Gen X and dealing with Gen Z teachers, they don't think the way we do at all. So when you got Gen X administrators over these millennials, they think that they could talk to the kids one way and the millennials the same way. And the millennials are like, fuck you, I quit. it's like they don't care about, like, we were like instilled fear, like our parents, like our boomer parents, like, you gotta hold on to our job. You need your Social Security, you need your Medicaid, you need your insurance, you need, all this, we need your job security. Like we are very much not much different. We're different, but not much different from the previous generation, where the Gen Z and these other guys are like, fuck it. I'll find something else. I'll fucking wash dishes. I don't care. I could take a salary cut. They don't view the world as, I'm not going to work till I retire mentality. They're just like, I don't know, call it short-sightedness, or call it balls, or call it like, I just don't give a fuck mentality. They leave. They don't care. They'll walk out on you. And
it's like punk music, right? Punk music was like, I have no future, fuck it. And that's from the 70s, right? I for myself, my parents are boomers. So my dad was born in the 40s, my mom born in the 20s.
Yeah.
So it's very, my mom is much older than my dad. But the thing is, what it comes down to, what is the goal that you want to get? What do you want them to do that you need them to do? Right. The best way is to figure out, okay, how can I get you? What is it that you need for me to help you do this job better?
Right.
And then but force never helps.
It doesn't work.
It just doesn't. It just tries. And I had this issue because I taught kids for a couple of years in Spain, and the director, who was a white American dude, and he married a Spanish woman, got divorced, and everything else. And I know Spanish culture relatively well, and for me, teaching these kids was like my childhood in third person perspective, which actually helped me understand the frictions between my parents.
Right.
In that Spanish kids are they let them do whatever. They're emotionally spoiled. Somehow in their 20s, they freaking straighten out. I don't know how that happens, but it happens.
Right.
And he would always tell me, oh, you got to be harder on these kids. You got to discipline them. And I sort of resisted my way because I knew they're not going to go with that. As long as I got them to do their stuff and whatever, it just doesn't work. Scaring them doesn't work. If anything, they get more belligerent.
Right.
And there was one kid I had who was 10 years old who told the director, and I have to kind of, I guess, explain this. There's a word in Spanish that's more popular now than before. It's guay. Mm-hmm. Guay means cool in Spanish. That's Spanish. It used to just be chulo, which is actually pimp, but it's like cool, right?
Right.
So this kid, who's like 10, says to the director, "You're guay, but without the U. So what do you have left? Gay, right?" The director gets all mad, and he's like, punishes this kid. He gets whatever punished. Meanwhile, we're just secondary teachers because these kids come to us after school. And he's like telling me, I'm going to call the mom. We're going to have a discussion. And I'm sitting there thinking, you ain't going to go the way you think it's going to go.
Right.
Sure enough, I had to sit in this. Mom comes. He's sitting down talking to her. He says, yeah, he said this to me. You're guay without the U, because it's spelled Guay, right? And she's like, my son would never say that to you. he would never say that, and he couldn't get through to her. And
Right.
I'm trying my best not to laugh my ass off because this is a very cultural thing. So it isn't just generational. Then you had culture to it. Especially boys, man, they get so pampered in Spain. It just drives people crazy.
Mhm.
Someone like if you ever want to party with Spaniards because they're just heathenistic as all hell. That's all I can say.
When I was in Taiwan, there was a
Mhm.
puppetry group from Spain. We ended up hanging out. They didn't speak English. I spoke broken Spanish, and then
Okay.
then we had like groups of Chinese puppeteers, you know, and they spoke. Some of them spoke Spanish, some of them didn't. So he had like this 3 different languages, hanging out, drinking beers, hanging out. Some of them, and my Spanish fucking sucked. It's like, but we communicated. We had a good time. We had a blast. We were like writing.
Oh, they're fun, man. They're some of the funnest
really
people.
wild.
And
And
I know they're usually presented as being very proud.
Yeah.
Oh, very proud of their culture.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you something. 2 or 3 drinks in, after being with them, they'll be like, "Yeah, we're the butthole of the world. We're just basically." You're just like, "What? Where the hell does pride go to?" Yeah, we're just corrupt as all fuck.
Yeah.
So they can be self-deprecating in a very interesting way, very honest about the shit that they do. So
yeah. I mean, this guy here talking about Greenland again. This guy here on let's see if I can cue this up here. I'm trying to get everything. I sent you a lot of videos this past week.
Folks, amateur hour is over. You don't speak on behalf of this U.S. Senator or the Congress. You can say it may be the position of the President of the United States that Greenland should be a part of the United States, but it's not the position of this government because we are a co-equal branch. And if that were to come to pass, there would be a vote on the floor to make it real.
Right.
Not the surreal sort of environment that some deputy chief of staff thinks was cute to say on TV. So you want to get me back to thanking the president for all the good things he's doing? Then give him good advice. One of 2 things happened with Greenland. Either one, the president came up with the idea that maybe we should have Greenland as a part of our assets. And somebody said that's a great idea versus saying, Mr. President, take a look at our alliance. Take a look at the most important alliance in the history of the United States, the NATO alliance. This could actually destabilize that, Mr. President. Mr. President, you should know at one point we had 17 military installations in Greenland, and they'd be happy to have us back.
Right.
They're not refusing to have us have access to project power into the Arctic. We could do it without taking over a NATO country. That's the sort of advice that they should have been given. So if the president thought it was a good idea, then he needs the expertise to say, Mr. President, that's why this is not a good idea. And I would defy you to find any credible general with a star on his shoulder who would say that it is, because they understand that the NATO alliance is what has kept this nation largely, or this world largely safe for over 75 years.
I'll stop it there. But
yeah, that was the guy I heard. That's the guy I was talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
he was on fire. And there's something else to add to this because they're worried about Russia and China messing with us. I'm about to send this to you, and you can put it up. Oh no, not this one. Sorry. This was extra hilarious because Doughhead had said, did I erase that? Doughhead had said, we're worried about Russia attacking us, but Russia is closer to us in Alaska.
Right.
So what's this? I'm worried about Russia attacking us when literally there's I have to say that finally Sarah Palin sounds smart. I can see Russia from my house. Let me see here. Put that.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with them. Even Mitch McConnell said it was stupid.
Stupid, not only that, but they're also flooding, Minnesota with ICE agents. They're saying there's more ICE agents now than police officers. They're doubling down as we speak. Instead of leaving, they're doubling down and trying to prove a point. So you're basically creating a war with the police versus ICE agents, and then you're gonna have the National Guard in there, you know. And this is all a distraction, so people can stop talking about Gaza, so people can stop talking about Israel, so people can, you know, it's like, you
Epstein.
know, Epstein, you know.
And keep in mind something else too, that there were fascist dictatorships in countries like Germany, Spain, Italy, France had it's Vichy. But geographically speaking, those countries are very small in comparison to try to clamp down on a country our size.
Right.
So, okay, you're clamping down here in Minnesota. Again, goes back to playing strategy games. Well, what if all of a sudden, I don't know, Louisiana acts up?
Right.
We got to send guys over there. We're
Right.
how many? 347 million people? How many are cops? If all 347 started acting up, well, let's subtract the law enforcement. You just can't pile in as many cops as you can to clamp down on everyone in a country that size with that many people. It is absolutely stupid.
Stupid, irresponsible. Take your pick.
It's just illogical. It's like, I know you want to show you're a tough guy,
Right.
but sadly, when you're sadly for him, meaning his perspective,
right,
that's not possible. That's just not possible.
Yeah, it's
just dumb. And I just, yeah, it's wild. Yeah, I'm trying to find this thing. It was really hilarious. Someone put it up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it, and I can't find it. And mind you, China can mess us up with one more thing that people don't expect, and that is, well, they are already, the
Right.
rare earth minerals. They refine every single rare earth mineral, period.
Right.
You know, there is
They're
no
not
way.
going to tolerate this bullshit. They're not going to be like, oh, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, invade the country. Like, no, that's not going to happen. Like, yeah, people in this country are cheering this because it just shows you how disconnected a lot of people in this country are. And I talk about people that I personally know that have reached out to me and they're like, oh, I support ICE. I voted for ICE. It's like, what? It's like, and it comes from I hate to say it, a lot of the comic book community are like, you know, pro-Trump.
I'm going to be honest with you.
The pseudo masculinity. It's masculinity, you know? That's what
it's toxic white supremacy.
Yeah.
It's toxic white supremacy. Like, really, I remember having a discussion with some of my friends in Spain who one of them actually published comic book author. We were talking about, they brought up Kick-Ass. I hate Kick-Ass.
Yeah, it's a juvenile.
Here's a kid, suburban kid or whatever, the concept of it. He puts on a mask and where does he go fight?
In the
neighborhood.
Right.
How's he different from the KKK?
Right.
You know, so there's this KKK mentality put into it with all these white dudes getting masks. The only people that put masks on in our country in reality,
right?
As much as I love superhero stuff, are the KKK, the Klan.
Right. That's I never thought about that, but that is so fucking true.
Yeah. And here's another thing. Why do they need superheroes? The black and brown community doesn't need superheroes. We got our own heroes, real heroes.
Right.
We got, the black community has Muhammad Ali.
Right. Exactly.
Real hero, right?
Yeah.
They got Superman. They need to make up theirs.
Right. Right.
You know, so yeah, no, there's.
They got Captain America.
Enjoy it. I draw that comic stuff just as much as everyone else.
Right.
But I can take a knife to it and slice it up.
I mean, if you think about heroes in America, right? Like you think about like these history, Columbus, genocider, fucking Robert E. Lee, fucking, he's basically like a separatist. I mean, you got all these Confederates are like traitors to the country. Why do we have statues? The Confederate flag, again, traitorous shit. I mean, take away celebrities, take away movie stars, What heroes do America take away? Black and Hispanic and other contributions. You know, they want to take us away and erase our history. What's left?
They only have one dude that I can think of.
They got O.J. Simpson.
One dude. John Brown.
John Brown.
John Brown was the only white man that decided, under the inspiration of Haiti, to go and freaking butcher all these fucking plantation owners and their family. One guy.
Wasn't he hung also?
Yeah, he was hung.
Yeah.
Yeah, one guy.
Yeah.
You can go, oh, I guess you really mean this shit.
Right.
Right? You really mean it. But other than that, no. You're right. What do they have?
Yeah, historically, what do they have? Who are the people in history that we look up to? You can say JFK, but JFK was the son of a mobster who went after the mob, kind of like Giuliani, right? You know, but it's like these are rich people. These are not.
You're kind of like, well, the sentiment's there,
right? I mean, again, we talked about Nixon, very problematic. You know, in today's lens, he's like evil light. Before, back in the day, he was like evil supreme. But
just think about it.
Like,
it was the Nixon Justice Department that sued Trump over racial discrimination. Let me run that by again. The Nixon administration's Justice Department sued Trump for racial discrimination. Right. The asshole that gave us the war on drugs.
Right. Which was, and they were, you know, the CIA pumping drugs into the neighborhood, into the black and brown communities, just to disrupt this whole like civil rights movement and Black Power movement. You know,
I don't know if you saw this, but I had posted up an old headline from the New York Times. I think it's from '96 or '94, and it said the CIA clears itself after investigating itself that it doesn't deal in drugs or something like that. And I was just like, yeah, you know, Miguel investigating himself, and he found out that, you know, he doesn't have X, Y, and Z.
Right.
How do you investigate yourself? That's ridiculous. It's
a ridiculous concept. Take a look at this one. This is the one about China we talked about.
中方对此强烈谴责。我要强调的是，中国和其他国家在委内瑞拉的合法权益必须得到保护。美国悍然对委内瑞拉动武，并要求委内瑞拉处置自身石油资源时，美国优先。是
That's their position, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, China just wants stuff to be stable. They're not into all these machinations and all this other horse shit that we're into. I mean, and right now we got a whirlwind of horse shit flying at us.
Yeah.
And just so much wasted energy.
Yeah.
The U.S., like, they're talking about, like, our country. The U.S. is in, like, we're not the ones in charge.
Right.
Like, no, like, the world's our oyster. Like, what are you talking about? So, in order to make the world our oyster, even though it is, we have to destroy the world. I'm like, dude, you got maybe I don't know. Maybe they're not happy with how it is. They wanted it to be better. I don't know, but it just seems really stupid. Yeah, I finally found that one, Ray, and here you go.
Yeah,
I'm sharing it with you so you can have a good laugh.
That sounds good. You're sending it to Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
Okay, let's see Instagram.
It's just like I got to take over my summer home in Greenland so I can have a home, like. But it's your summer home. You don't have to take it over other than stay there.
Right. It's like,
you know. And there was another thing too. Someone was sharing that Trump was talking about we're getting X amount of barrels from Venezuela. We're not getting barrels. It's fucking tankers. Then we put it in barrels.
Right.
Like, oh man, but they're fleecing us because we don't think.
People aren't thinking. Let's see. My phone said that you sent something, but then I don't see it here. Is that from X.com?
Yeah.
Is that the Russian map?
Cracked me up, man.
Is that the Russia Slavic USA map?
Yeah, that guy. Oh, that guy cracked me up.
Yeah, that's
I was like, you look at the distance on the map, and you're like, Greenland?
right. Doesn't make any
It
sense.
doesn't make any sense. But of course, we're allergic to maps and sort of thinking at things like from different angles. So these guys will tell us, oh, yes, I have to sleep with your wife. What do you mean you have to? It's for security purposes. And we're like, well, some of us are like, okay. What time tomorrow?
Right, right,
What?
right. This one here, right?
Yep, that one right there. I love that.
Yeah, it's just like
It's like right there.
yeah, it's just like what the
I guess Trump thinks we live on a cube.
right. Well, maybe he thinks the Earth is flat because he did say that he did during the 2016 election when he was running. He did tell people, "Oh, I do believe the world is flat. I've flown many places," and he was actually trying to get the flat earthers as well on board. So these QAnon guys are
they're so stupid. They're so stupid. There's nothing else you can say. I mean,
right.
It isn't even like
it's just like what the fuck.
And from his perspective, I mean, I could say he's stupid, but
Yeah.
he's smart enough to know how to hustle people.
I usually comment. I think I've told you this before on this talk radio show.
Oh yeah, you do. You call in.
And I call in and give my 2 cents. And it's funny, like I didn't do it for like I was off from work from like the 23rd to the 5th. So I didn't call in. That's like 2 Thursdays, right? And I called in this past week. And the guy who answers the phone, the guy who like the moderator behind it, he does all the technical stuff, Michael G. Haskins, he's like, "Oh my God, where have you been? We need a voice of reason here.
Right?
You abandon us." All these crazy people calling in. He says, "I'm gonna skip these other 2 callers and put you first." And maybe
Wow.
maybe we'll do an episode and I'll play in some of the crazy.
Oh God. Oh, you got the actual recordings?
Yeah, I download them.
Oh man.
You know,
You gotta play these.
Yeah, it's like I got quite a few. It's
Do you remember
literally
that used to be a thing? They used to sell those tapes.
yes,
The prank calls.
yes.
What was the name of those guys? I forgot those guys.
Crank Yankers, not Crank. Yeah, Crank Yankers were the guys who were on the phone
Mm-hmm.
and then they did a TV show with the puppets, and then you had the Jerky Boys did it
The
first.
Jerky Boys, yeah.
And they even made a movie on that, which is hilarious. The Jerky Boys. Yeah,
Holy
that's
shit.
like,
You gotta share.
yeah.
You gotta share.
Yeah, I'll send you some clips. Yeah, it's like
That's awesome.
yeah, it's
No, just don't send it. We gotta play it. We gotta talk about it.
yeah, there's a ton of stuff. I think there was so much shit going on this past news cycle that the lady was like, "Where is your escape? Where would you go?" Or was that was like the usually they tackle like, you know, what they did talk about Venezuela and stuff, but when she started the segment, she was talking about, and she had a guest speaker, which is unusual. Usually it's just Frenchie Davis is by herself. And so she had a guest speaker and they're talking about where to escape from America. Like, where would you go if you have to leave? And it's big. It's kind of crazy because it went from, I've been doing this for like 4 months now. So it's like, it went from talking about things that are happening in the news, just like you and I are doing here. Like, the shit's getting real. What's your exit strategy? Like, this is like the 3rd segment where she talked about exit strategies and talking about listing places where Americans can escape to, where you can get a visa, where you can, you know, relocate permanently, like, you know, like get the fuck out. And, you know, on one hand, there's humor in it, but on the other hand, you know, we're laughing, right? You and I were cracking up, but
I laughed.
It's fucking, we're laughing because we're like, what the fuck's going on? You know, it's like,
but
it's
I
like,
already took my exit plan. I left.
you already did that. You did it a long time ago, you know.
You know what made me think?
Where's that yellow vest?
Yeah. What made me think I'm out of here was there isn't enough of us that have a thinking brain stateside. So it's like, okay, let me run the numbers in my head. Yeah, shit hits the fan. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to want to be mamby-pamby about stuff. Not enough people who are like seeing the situation for being serious.
Right.
2, the Iraq War, knowing that it was going to start to be the decline of our empire.
Yeah.
3, during the Iraq War, George Bush showing up on that battleship in an Air Force uniform. I'm like, that's some dictator shit. And no one saw it that way. I'm like,
right. Everyone's like, oh, he's patriotic. Like, no,
I'm like,
no,
no.
Non-server, another non-server of the government, like who basically ran away from service,
Yeah, all of them did. I know. Speaking of running away from service, did you see Jesse Ventura?
Oh yeah,
the man you called Trump cowardly rich white boy. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh man, he went off. Typical Jesse, man.
Yeah,
Jesse went off on that.
And that's the clip he was talking about Vietnam and everything, right?
Mm-hmm. And he's from Minnesota. He's from that area.
Right.
He's from Minneapolis. Well, he was the governor.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was calling Trump that and a bunch of draft dodgers.
Yeah, I got it.
He's right. I mean,
yeah, for real.
I mean, if you dodged a draft and you're anti-war all the way through your life, no problem.
Right.
But if you're a chicken shit and you ran away,
right,
and you didn't want to do it, and then later on in life you're sending other people to go, you're an asshole.
Yeah, you're an asshole. They're talking about reenacting the draft now. It's like, give me a break. Reenact the draft.
But they don't.
He's like, why don't you send your son? Yeah, send your kid, man.
But the thing is, no one can meet the physical requirements because we fucked ourselves up over the food.
Oh yeah, exactly. The food is complete poison. Complete poison. This is the one you're talking about, I think, right?
Yeah. Oh man, he went to town.
I'll give you a quote. We're a third world country now. You want to know why? I'm an expert. I've been to them. I spent 17 months in Southeast Asia while the draft dodger was playing golf, right? You know how I know we're a third world country? Because in third world countries, they have the military doing their police work in the cities when you walk around. I was in the Philippines the day Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law and went under dictatorship. We went from nobody to a guy with a machine gun on every corner. That's what happens in a dictatorship. In comes the military. That's what's happening here. And people better wake up to it. You want to read something? Then read your history of Germany and start comparing the tactics of what happened in 1930s Germany to what's happening here. Read history. You learn from history. And this is nothing new. This is all repeated. This is a game plan, it looks like to me, of what's going on here. How dare Minnesota, we'll take care of ourselves. We don't need federal troops coming in here without warrants.
Some people have said this undermines local law enforcement.
It undermines the entire Constitution. The military cannot be turned loose unless it's a national emergency. They're going to tell me this is a national emergency. You want to?
Yeah. That's,
completely, dude. Yeah.
There was a book called 7 Days to Power, and it was about how Hitler took over the government and executed things.
Here's the thing again, though.
Yeah.
Geography.
Mm-hmm.
Germany is probably the size of, I don't know, I'll be generous, New York State.
Right. Right.
For 343 million, we're scattered everywhere. Now, here's the other problem when you start to think of the math and stuff. So we want to have boots on the ground in Venezuela. So we're going to have to send troops down there. We also want to mess in Mexico. So we're gonna have to send troops there. And he actually said he's gonna send troops down there.
All right. Then
We
you
want to
got,
mess in Cuba. We have to send more troops down there.
Mhm.
We want to mess in Iran. We're gonna have to send more troops down there.
Mhm.
Now we only have technically 1.3 million active service members.
Right. That they're gonna do what
Where
happened.
are we gonna get these extra soldiers?
What they're gonna do is when my father had cancer in the early 2000s, they basically reactivated him, even though he wasn't retired.
Right.
He was already 63, and they were like, "Oh, we're reactivating you to full-time status," and they were going to send him over to Iraq.
But that was Iraq.
So all the reservists were like being, but he was like, "Hey, I have cancer," and they were like, "Well, then you got to retire." So they forced him into retirement. George Bush, and then they made these people serve three tours. You know,
Yep.
that used to be voluntary. You had to do one tour mandatory. The second and third was voluntary, and George Bush made them do that. You know,
I remember doctors were being called up, and
Yep.
all sorts of people who were reservists were calling up. But that's one country. We technically took over two. But then on top of it, the genius that Trump is, and I'm not saying genius in terms of that I would agree on clamping down.
Yeah.
Just looking at from his side of the chess table.
Mhm.
He also wants to clamp down on us.
Right.
343 million people.
It's not going to happen.
How are you going to, where you could have 20 million soldiers,
Right.
but now you got to China. You got to, it's logistically impossible.
Right.
It's just down, and have wars too. But here's
Right.
the other thing: we want to take over Greenland. We want to take over Mexico. I don't hear any fiscal conservatives. Those ones are like, oh, I'm socially liberal but fiscal conservative.
Yeah. Where are those earmarks? Right. Where are those the pork? What do they call it?
But if we take these
barrel.
countries in, say we do,
Right.
we adopt their debts. So
Exactly.
now our deficit budget, our deficit goes through the roof.
Yep.
Like it isn't just like, oh, we just took over land. Now we got all sorts of other shit that we got to pile on. More money wasted. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Jesse is right. I just sort of look at the geography. They can't handle Minneapolis. What if you have like 100 Minneapolises? Do they have enough National Guardsmen to go control more than one place?
Right.
And have wars?
Exactly. Yeah, it
I don't know.
doesn't make any freaking sense. I mean, let's do our little comic book segment here.
Okay, sure.
You got Persepolis here. Great book.
Oh, Persepolis. Yeah, wonderful book.
Any insights on that? She was French, right? The writer.
She's of the Iranian diaspora.
She was Iranian, but she spoke French. I think the book was originally published in France and then later translated into English.
Yeah, she moved here as a teenager.
Yeah.
Like in the story, and she
Yeah,
grew up
the
here.
Shah and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The falling of the Shah. So what did you think of the book? Or the books, rather?
You know, they're good. They're from a certain perspective. I understand her perspective.
And she is a wealthy class person, so it's kind of like you're not getting the commoner.
No.
No, it's like, I wouldn't say elitist, but it was. I think it was
from a perspective.
It's from a perspective. The film was interesting. You know, the adaptation, they didn't cover as much as the book. I mean, but which is also pretty good.
I mean, overall, it's good.
But yeah, I mean, I had some issues with it in comparison of how they framed. I think she was very careful not to point to any specific regime, you know, like
which is really good because a lot of Iranians, from what I know, tend to sort of look at regime change very fondly,
right,
from the comforts of the countries they're living in.
Right.
I think that's very dangerous to call for your countrymen to get killed.
Right.
You know. So yeah,
I mean, they don't really. I don't think she really commented on. It's been a while since I read it, but I don't think she really commented on what he said that kind of set the spark for that. And I think this is
it was more like her social reality.
Right. But I found this interview that he did, this segment, interesting. that he spoke about, and that was like, let's see if we can get the volume on that. Whoops, that was a link. Oh, I got to change it. Hold on a second.
You got no.
I think it switched. It switched to like, I think it switched to Instagram. Oh, that's
Yeah, for whatever reason, Instagram and Facebook don't work well together.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
But they're the same company.
Yeah,
Go figure.
Yeah.
Lobby in the United States pulls the strings of the presidency.
Not entirely, but I think even a little too much, even for Israel interests.
You think the Jewish lobby in the United States is too powerful for the interests of Israel?
I think so. Sometimes they are disserving the interests of Israel because they're pushing around too many people.
Why would the President of the United States pay attention to that lobby?
They are strong.
Strong in what sense?
They are controlling many things.
Controlling what?
Newspapers, medias,
Your Majesty.
banks, finances, and I'm going to stop there.
Well, now wait just a second. Surely, Your Majesty, you're not telling me that the Jewish lobby...
So they're like, "Oh, you're exaggerating. You're crazy." No, he's that's
Wow,
Kanye West right there.
Fast forward to 2026. I think I think back then it was that the Zionist entity had really done such a good job that it was Jewish.
Right.
He was saying the Jewish, but I think now we know, no, that's separate from Zionist.
Yes, it's well, I think.
But I think back then
people said things very plainly. You know, they didn't say APAC lobby. They didn't use like these buzzwords. They were like,
yeah.
Is he wrong? I don't think anything. The conversation hasn't changed. I mean, and look at Venezuela. He said last week, we talked about it. He said something very similar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gaddafi said something very similar. JFK said something very similar. It's like it's
well,
it's there's like a thread going on here. It's like
and I think I should find this and send it to you. It's not well known, but a lot of the Israelis are also from the Soviet Union. A lot of them, so it's mostly American and mostly Soviet, former Soviets. A lot of them held a lot of really bad blood towards the Soviets.
Yeah.
And in the Cold War, Israel helped us, particularly in the 1970s. We got intertwined because of our the deep dislike of the Soviets.
Right.
So I think that's when things started to, I would say, merge, because it was a merger between the two. It's really, at the end of it, it's more Christian Zionists, because they're like, well, if you guys get to be the face of it, so be it. Always been a tradition in Europe in many ways. Yeah, we need to do X, Y, and Z. Hey, you don't believe in Jesus. Can you do it for me? And then shit goes down. Oh, those Jews. It's like, any minority needs to understand that when you walk in that with the oppressor is going to leave you with the fucking bag hanging and walk away.
Right.
I don't know why they don't understand this, and they're high on the supply. And in the end, I feel somewhat bad for a lot of our Jewish brothers and sisters that don't agree with this, who are like, hey, no, because they're going to be painted as everyone. And that's the danger of the coming anti-Semitism, the real anti-Semitism, that no one really wants to see it, because they're defending an attitude, an ideology that contradicts Judaism and conflating the two. And it's just so visible. You can read in history. There's a king called Pedro the Cruel in Spain. Did a whole bunch of stuff. He was an asshole, horrible man. And he had a Jewish advisor. And he ended up killing his Jewish advisor and blaming him for all the shit that he did. And he went back to being an asshole. And that, to me, encapsulates the relationship of Jewish people in Europe. Please don't. No. And I know a lot don't go along with that, but I think that's where the danger of anti-Semitism is really going to come. The real deal, like the Nazi shit coming.
Right.
You know, that's my fear more than anything else. They can talk all this stuff. Oh, look, we're just criticizing some of you, because not all of you believe this. Just don't kill kids. Don't kill innocents.
Right.
Can you just get some reason and sit down and hash something out?
They're killing the future generations by killing kids. That's what they're doing. I mean,
they call it mowing the lawn.
Yeah, mowing the lawn. It's like they're doing it also because population, right? It's like,
but they're not having more kids.
That's the thing. It's like, yeah, these people are killing. They killed like 450,000 people in Gaza, even though they keep saying for 49,000. It's like, no, it's more like 500,000 people. You know, it's like. And it's probably more than that, you know, even more than that, because the numbers, what the world says, you know, what Israel's reporting themselves is much higher than what the U.S. is saying. The U.S., for whatever strange reason, the U.S. wants to lower the number of people that are being reported from Israel as to how many people were killed, or, you know, from the official ranks. It's
PR.
Wallet, you know, and it doesn't. You know, I wanted to play this clip of JFK real quick, which I felt that was. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I just wanted to.
Okay.
Because I just think that, you know, ever since they released the JFK files, I don't know if you knew about this, but apparently when they released the JFK files recently, right, that was before the Epstein files. They were like, oh, we got to release. So apparently Israel convinced Trump to reclassify them after about a month after they were open. And then they re-released it a few months later, re-redacted. So they re-redacted the redacted files because they said, well, if you released the Kennedy, if you release these papers, it's seen as anti-Semitic. It was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? How is releasing the JFK, how is releasing JFK's, you know, like all the evidence on this ancient case that happened a long time ago, like what, 50 years ago? You know, how is that anti-Semitic? And it's because there was a lot of things that pointed out to, you know, they didn't call themselves Mossad back then, but Israeli intelligence, secret service, right? Oh, they called themselves ISIS. That's what they called themselves back then. It's like,
I have something to tell you about after unredacted, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's. I'll play some of it. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but this. I'll play this short, but then I'll play this one. Here we go. Oh, there's a car commercial. Don't you hate this? I hate ads.
YouTube.
This is YouTube. Yeah. Let's skip this. Here we go.
In a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. Today, no war has been declared, and however fierce the struggle may be, it may never be declared in the traditional fashion. Our way of life is under attack. Those who make themselves our enemy are advancing around the globe. The survival of our friends is in danger. And yet no war has been declared. No borders have been crossed by marching troops. No missiles have been fired. If the press is awaiting a declaration of war before it imposes the self-discipline of combat conditions, then I can only say that no war ever posed a greater threat to our security. If you are awaiting a finding of clear and present danger, then I can only say that the danger has never been more clear. Its presence has never been more imminent. It requires a change in outlook, a change in tactics, a change in missions by the government, by the people, by every businessman or labor leader, and by every newspaper. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. It conducts the Cold War, in short, with a wartime discipline no democracy would ever hope or wish to match.
That says a lot.
Well, it's wild because I've heard that speech before.
Uh-huh.
And it's that speech, one of my favorite bands, current active band, living bands from the UK, is a band called Muse.
Mm.
Muse is libertarian, but libertarian in England is not free like the ones that we're used to. They're closer to being like anarchists.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, at least they did at one point. So the beginning of one of their songs, they play that speech. They're very anti-system.
Uh-huh.
So it's funny hearing that because it's like, yeah. But it's interesting because I'm about to delve into the book this year, the book called The Devil's Chessboard, which is about the Dulles brothers. And everything that he was saying sounds like Alan Dulles. Alan Dulles is the guy he fired because they did the Bay of Pigs.
Right.
It went south. They had lied to him. He
Right.
fired him. Not long after, Kennedy's shot.
They rehire him.
And who got hired to overlook his investigation was Alan Dulles. Yeah.
Listen, Oppenheimer, the film, also hinted on that. There was this one guy. I don't think it was Dulles in the movie. Robert Downey Jr. played this guy that was opposed to Kennedy. It was a senator that Kennedy had criticized, and he was also part of that committee as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of sneaky little shit.
Yeah.
I think that we had, we were talking about fascism coming.
Yeah.
If I was to take the narrative from the perspective of we're a dictatorship, I think we had an open air coup.
Yeah.
Kennedy was killed. And really we've been run as a banana republic since then.
Right.
That would be a perspective that I would say if I followed that logic.
He played Lewis Strauss, Robert Downey Jr., and apparently that was another guy that Kennedy was going after, that also was hired to that committee too after being fired.
There's this great YouTube channel that anyone that wants to delve into this stuff, I commend this young man because he did a lot of detail. He's got the books and everything else to do with it. It's called Eyes Wide Open. And man, and I call him a kid because he's in his 20s. I'm 50. Right? I get to do that now, right?
You're right. I call everybody a kid. They get a little annoyed. Even my coworkers, I'm like, "Hey, kids, what's going on?"
Right. Well, hey, they're gonna call us old guys, right? So
hey. Yeah, because they're 25, right? So it's like
25.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul. It's just try to be endearing.
Yeah.
And he just did a bang up job. He had talks about the Dulles brothers. It's like if you want to know the history of the CIA,
right?
Outside, and he gives you the books too. That is the go-to channel.
Right.
Eyes Wide Open.
Eyes Wide Open.
Talks about Skull and Bones, drug money, all that crap.
Yes. Oh my God, Skull and Bones. So much. That's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, it all comes back to the money they made off the opium trade.
Yeah.
So they set up their little club. Alan Dulles was Skull and Bones. His family made money off the opium trade. The Dulles brothers also were the bankers, along with Prescott Bush, of the Nazis. I.G. Faber, they represented them. And it was Alan Dulles who also dealt with the Operation Sunrise, and then later on Operation Paperclip. So, Hydra.
Hydra, yeah. Yeah, I actually talking about comic books for a little bit. That G.I. Joe, Larry Hama's idea for G.I. Joe when Hasbro approached him was originally going to be allocated for Shield versus Hydra. So Cobra Commander and all that stuff was originally supposed to be
interesting.
It was inspired by Jack Kirby's Shield and Hydra, and then Hasbro approaches them, and then they change it up for G.I. Joe.
Yeah, because G.I. Joe's just a plane.
Yeah,
it's like those big action figures and stuff.
Right.
So that makes sense.
There's a book that I'm reading. I don't know if I mentioned that before because I'm getting old. I repeat myself. Called By Way of Deception, which is really good. It's in the 90s. I saw a video on it. It's about the Mossad. And it's this guy talking about how he joined the Mossad, how he's been influenced, like, the different trials that he had to go through and all the steps that they took, and like how they literally were like basically not just infiltrated his family and found out everything about him, but like the different missions, practice missions, mind fucks that he went through. This book here, I have the original 90s version. This is a different cover. But this is highly recommended, especially with what's going on now.
Yeah.
I highly recommend that book. I'm only halfway through it. And it's just like, what the fuck? And it actually connects Beirut and how Israel basically allowed 150 American officers to be killed.
Yeah.
And then other things that
interesting
dealt with it, and it goes back to 9/11 when we're arresting Israelis in a white van that has a plane crashing into the Twin Towers imprinted on the van. And they're like, oh, we're just here. We're not terrorists. We're just here to observe. Okay. And then they're artists. They're on artist visas in the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
And then there's bomb making materials, photographs of them with bomb making materials, and on and on.
Yeah. Once you start going into that rabbit hole of,
it's
it's good for every creator who wants to write about clandestine stuff.
Yeah.
Don't copy James Bond or this other shit. Go read the real crap. I mean, you can then, if you're going to write it, exaggerate it, but at least the reality you're dealing
with. Yeah.
I think a lot of writers, what has happened is they come from the middle class. They haven't really lived in per se, and then they don't really read.
Right.
And if they read, it's just fiction instead of you got to have a big, broad amount of different topics that you're interested in. Because one thing will lead to the other. One of the things I love about Swamp Thing, for example, that Alan Moore wrote,
right,
his bit on it, he really took the time, and you could see that he did a lot of research on different botany.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So as we talk about these current event things, those out there who are creators, you kind of start to understand that the stuff that you read, if it's good, it's most likely because people put their time into reading and researching. So being aware actually helps your art too.
Right.
It isn't just sort of like two separate worlds, because you're seeing human nature and being able to study it.
Right.
Right. So.
Right. Oh, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Go ahead.
I'm here.
We had a few comments on the side. Omari,
wow, we got to go now, though.
Yeah. I thought I asked this. Omari DaCosta said that you should be a politician.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's bad luck in my mom's family.
Right.
And even my dad's. It's bad luck.
Yeah. I thought about that for years. I always said in my 50s, I want to start running for local elections and stuff, but here I am.
Yeah, no.
I don't think, honestly, I call it a nest of vipers. I mean, would you really want to work in a nest of? That's like when I was a teacher in New York City. It was, I called that a nest of vipers too. Like you're just dealing with people who are just not good people. Like, that are just don't have your best interests. I'm not talking about fellow teachers. I'm talking about some of them, but I was like the administration and stuff. So I could only imagine the bureaucracy. Working in the prison system, very similar. I mean, if you piss someone off at the prison, I've seen them set up dudes. Like after 9/11, there was an elderly Muslim who taught the Quran in the prisons. Nice guy, very friendly. He made some comments immediately after 9/11, and people like fucking put child porn in his office. Officers, corrections officers, had him fired. Same thing with the doctor. There was a doctor that they didn't like in the med room, and then they set him up, and they even had inmates testify saying that he let them watch porn in his office and all this stuff. So they basically utilized their evidence room to set people up, whether it was drugs or what have you, and
cops being cops.
Cops being cops, right? Doesn't matter if they're just correction officers. So in addition to the violence that was there, I mean, even myself, I was strangled with my tie by an officer because he decided he wanted to joke around with me, and I'm a whip. I'll joke right back. I'll sizzle you. And he got so mad he grabbed my tie and strangled me, and I ended up fighting the guy. Then they broke it up. Guys, we're just playing around. I was like, oh yeah, we're just playing around. Yeah, you're about to get your ass kicked. Yeah, if I was young enough, I mean, I was 28. I mean, I think because I grew up in the Bronx, I'm a scrapper. So I was like, I'll scrap and then I'll stop. Like, okay, it's over. All right, we're done. But if I had a little bit more of that white gene, I would have been like, I'm suing you, and I would have probably got millions of dollars. I'd be out of a career being a first-year teacher. Like, I could have made the news. I could have made the news cycle like, hey, teacher gets strangled by corrections officer in Rikers Island. That would have made some big headlines. But I just said, all right, it is what it is. You got your hits in. I fucking, gotcha. It's like I put him in a reverse headlock while he was strangling me. It's just like, it's just, and I don't know if you've ever been put in a reverse headlock, but it's painful.
No, I haven't. I used to wrestle in high school.
Yes, it's like
yeah.
Headlock is painful. A reverse headlock is just as painful. Yeah, it's not pleasant. So
you're a grown man. What are you doing that for? That's
right.
You get upset. Just I was
I made fun of his tie. I said, "What are you? Where are you wearing a clip on? What are you in the 6th grade or something?" That's
shit, man. Like, I mean, once you get past
strangle me,
once you get past 18, all that macho shit doesn't mean shit.
Doesn't mean anything. I mean, just like the lady who got shot. She says, "Dude, I'm not even mad at you." And
I know, that's so sad.
He shot her, called her a fucking bitch, and shot her. I hope they throw the book at that dude. I hope all of those guys, all of them, they should,
maybe this is the darker side of me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you're a police officer and you do that, I think it has to be kind of like, and this is my more extreme angry side. I think you betrayed the trust of your people that you're supposed to take care of.
Right.
It should be like medieval Japan.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go out, open up your shirt, and commit seppuku.
Right. Exactly. Like
you have lost honor. I mean, that sounds too right wing in that sense, but it's like, fuck, you're okay. And I look at, if I was to look at it, that they're actually defending the people, but they're not. They're defending property.
Right.
And they will always defend property. They're literally the rich people's guard dog.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it sounds horrible. Maybe some people they are. For myself, I think that being a politician is useless in the system that we live in, and here's why. It is better to get minds open and awake.
Right.
Because as Chase, I think I've said this before,
Mhm.
Chase said, I am not a savior. Saviors don't exist. Either the people save themselves or they don't. And
Right.
it comes down to the people. We have to take responsibility as adults, all of us. All of us have to start waking up,
Right.
discussing, talking, trying to find common ground. The system is such, we get so inundated with individuals and get angry over individuals.
Exactly.
It's like Frederick Douglass talked about slaves would sit there and argue with each other whose slave master was better.
Right.
Keep that in mind, right? So it's important for all of us to be able to go, look, when I elect you to be a politician, motherfucker, I'm not electing a saint. I'm electing someone who's doing a job because I'm doing other things, right? Other things are essential for this society or beneficial, whatever it might be. Instead, we treat these people like they're gods.
Right, which is horrific.
And then we fight each other like the enslaved people I was talking about
Mhm.
over the slave master. Who has
Right.
the best slave master?
Right.
So Amari, I love you. Thank you. I take that as a compliment that you say that I should be.
All right.
I've actually even told my kids there's several different jobs they should never ever they stay away from.
Right.
One, politics, two, lawyers, and
My son wants to
cops.
be a lawyer. I remember telling my son, if you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to be a really good liar. He kept and he's
You have to have no morals.
$30 for lawyers. Yeah. It's like,
You know, and I have some friends who are lawyers, and you know,
right.
although they've walked away from it. But,
You know, yeah, it's hard, you know. Like a friend of mine that is a meditation in meditation class. He was a lawyer for like 35 years, and I was like, he's like, oh, your son got accepted to Northwestern. I was like, yeah. He says, oh, he says, what's he want to study? I said, law. He says, oh, the poor bastard. It's like,
yeah.
I was like, I know. I was like,
Because once you pass the bar, then you have to go into a law firm, and then you have to spend. You get all the shit jobs pretty much for like ever until you get past that. So yeah, it's yeah.
It's
So
something.
everything else is cool. And in terms of politics, it's like I already told you about my ancestor who was nearly assassinated. My grandfather in the Spanish Republic was an agricultural minister who was actually in charge of the maps when they were fighting against Franco.
Wow.
Ended up being dying under house arrest from cancer because they had found him out. In
Wow.
1959, the same year Ike shows up to make a deal with Franco.
Wow.
So I hate Ike. Although I wouldn't be here if he didn't make that deal because my dad wouldn't have shown up.
Right.
But I don't like the Captain America, oh, the industrial military complex. And he's telling us all this shit. Motherfucker, you were using it.
Right. Exactly.
So you use it, now you walk away. I'm supposed to see you as a saint. It's
Right.
just like, this gun, you got to be careful of this gun. Yeah, but it's smoking.
I mean, that's the same problem I had with, you know, and as a Democrat, you know, I had issues with, you know, I'm more critical of my own party. People think, oh, you're sounding like a Republican. I was like, no, I'm just very critical of my own. It's called cleaning house. You know, you got to be. So I was very skeptical about Kamala Harris because she locked away so many Black people for like 25, 30 years on marijuana charges.
Right.
And then goes on the radio and shows like, yeah, I smoked marijuana. It's like, what? And you could tell she's probably lying her ass off. But even if she's telling the truth, it's like, wait a minute, you were smoking drugs the entire time you were locked, giving people 30 years for the same shit. Like that's, and calling them super predators and all this stuff. I'm sorry, I'm not voting for you. It's like, sorry.
You know, I grew up Democrat my whole life. I was a kid where my mom helped out the Mondale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we were living in Kansas at the time. She helped out the Mondale campaign against Reagan.
Jeremy Carr, right?
But yes, you're right on that. Even if I was to put that aside, again, looking at it from a perspective of strategic,
right?
She had a chance at that point to really get over even that hump.
Well, then
Right.
she said,
Here's Palestine. There
Right.
were a lot of young people
Yes.
who would have voted for her
Yes.
if she said, that shit's wrong. We're going to
Yeah.
stop that.
Right.
I tell you right now, she would have been president.
She would have been president, yeah. But then she also said, I would never, when they asked her about reparations, she said, I would never pass a bill that only benefited Black people. Like, so her mouth, she's, again, you talk about Trump being dumb, talking dumb. Here's a woman that was a district attorney and then later working in House of Representatives. And it's like you got the book knowledge, but you just don't have, somebody like shut her up.
Well,
don't put her in front of a camera.
I think you're just saying the bedside manner.
Right, the bedside. Yeah, you could see the avarice, the classism, and I don't think people didn't vote for her because she was Black or Indian. What's that?
The Democratic Party's been very classist for a long time.
Oh yeah, they are. But
like
she
they
really
say the
put it
middle
out there.
class, they never say working class,
Right,
or
right.
the poor.
Right.
Poor hasn't been uttered out of any of their mouths,
Right.
for decades.
Right.
For decades. And what you're saying about, oh, you sound like a Republican. The problem is that the Republicans and the right wing in every country look for converts,
Right.
and the left wing looks for traitors.
Yeah.
And that's our problem, as opposed to, look, I'm saying you can be a better person. We can be better at this.
Right.
Why don't you look at these things that I laid out for you that could be improved? Don't take it so fucking personally. I'm just saying this so all of us can get better at this.
Right.
Instead, oh, you.
I gotta get my charger. Hold on a second. Hold that thought.
Yeah, no worries.
I got 10% on the computer.
Yeah, no problems. I had a similar issue earlier as we were talking. So, can you hear me? Maybe not. It's okay. It's going to be the Miguel show now. Raise off.
Get my charger.
Oh, he's back. Brief Miguel show.
I was like,
I just had the brief Miguel show.
that's good. You could have kept talking. I was like, oh, it's gonna die. It's cutting out. Yeah, go ahead. You finish that thought. Go ahead.
Yeah, like, so it's like they take it as, and I think the biggest bridge, I could say at least for the Black American community, because even though I got a Spanish name and everything else, I get that from my mom, and she was European Spanish. And I see a lot of issues, see where Latinos can see through their lens too, relatively speaking, not the same way. But for the Black American community, because my dad being Black American, from when you're little, you hear you're going to have to be 10 times better, all this stuff, right? So we always have to improve.
Right.
You walk into a room, you say X, Y, and Z, holy shit, everyone's going to scrutinize every fucking thing that you do.
Right.
And in that sense, I understand what Obama went through with that.
Right. Yeah,
fucking wearing a tan suit.
Yeah.
White America.
The fact that became a conversation for over a week about this fucking tan suit.
Yeah.
Didn't make any sense.
You take white America, though, and this is the big bridge between the two of us, really. It's a psychological bridge, has nothing to do with skin, has everything to do with psychological bridge. And white America deals more with it's good enough. So for us, we have to be 10 times better than everybody else. For them, Elon Musk can say we're gonna be on Mars tomorrow.
Right.
Tomorrow comes, no one says, hey, you're a fucking liar. We aren't on Mars. Oh, we're working on it.
Right.
So mediocrity is accepted in the white American society.
Right.
Mediocrity is not accepted in the Black community.
Right.
For those who might think, well, what are you saying? We gave you a Michael Jackson. We gave you a Prince. Right. We gave you Chuck Berry. We gave you all these Muhammad Ali.
Right.
Not because we're exceptionally better. It's because we put ourselves at a higher standard at whatever we do
Right.
It's just like resistance training.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that resistance training, you're not going to create excellence. Excellence comes from fucking hard work.
Right.
It isn't genetic. Oh, I got an IQ of blah, blah, blah. That doesn't mean fucking shit.
No.
You know, even Einstein said genius is like what, 10%, you know, natural and 90% perspiration. In other words, you got to fucking work your ass off.
You gotta work your ass off, yeah.
And they don't want to. Elon Musk is a perfect example of that. He's really good at fucking lying.
Right.
You know, so.
And buying other people's tech and then taking credit for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And Trump is along the same lines too.
Right.
He's another rich kid.
Right.
He never had to put the hard work on it. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't white Americans who have done it.
Oh, sure.
There have been those who've done it. But as a general rule, the world's your oyster. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're told from when you're a kid, all the heroes are Superman, Batman, you know, Tony Stark. You can do anything. You can become an astronaut. Then what happens when you hit 20 because you thought this innately was going to get you to this position? You
Right.
start 20, 25, and 30. None of this has fucking happened.
Right.
And then you start getting depressed and bitter. Oh, it's the black people.
Right.
Oh, it's the women who don't want me. And this is where it leads to it.
Very true. I mean,
All because their parents didn't say, little Johnny, yes, you might be white, but in this world, you still have to fucking work your ass off really hard. Right? So the hype, they bought the hype. We don't get a chance to have hype.
Right. Meanwhile, Bruce Wayne punishes poor people for killing his parents and the mentally ill, and then freaking Iron Man produces weapons for war. These are our heroes, right? These guys are
and that seems like programming if you think of it.
Yeah.
That's programming.
Right.
So why are we surprised that young white men love Elon Musk?
Right.
Well, from when they're little, they're growing up seeing Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark.
Right.
Right? It's okay if a little imperialism's okay because you can make it look at all the cool tech we're gonna get.
Right. I'm James Bond.
I'm James Bond. And I know a lot of people who are probably watching this going, holy shit, they're comic creators and they're cutting up Batman and Iron Man.
Right.
Fuck yeah, grow up. We got to grow up a little bit. We got to look at it. It doesn't mean that I won't enjoy Batman or Iron Man.
Yeah, I love Batman. I mean, look, I'm surrounded.
Yeah, you know, but it doesn't mean you can't see this is what the society is telling us.
That doesn't mean that you can't be a critical thinker, right? You know,
Right.
it's okay to be a critical thinker. And with that, talking about critical thinking,
Okay.
the video of this poor lady, you know, and how Fox News has been trying to make it demonize this chick. I mean, look what this
Renee
is.
Good?
This is her last words here.
While you're getting the video fixed up, you said that there were comments. Was there another comment?
Oh, hold on a second. It looks like the video.
I think you're back on Facebook. That's why.
Ah! That's what happened.
You're back on Facebook. That's why.
There you go. Here
You said that there were comments, right?
Oh yeah, we had some comments from Omari. I read those. It was just he had mentioned that stuff. You know,
I'm not mad. In her final seconds alive, Renee Good can be heard telling ICE agent Jonathan Ross that she has no issues with him as he walks around her car stopped in the street. ICE says Good and her wife
It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later.
were closely following an operation. Ross has no body cam. He's using his cell phone here. Good's wife says this.
Go get yourself some lunch, big boy.
Before another agent yells for Good to get out of the car. Her wife then yells at her to go. Ross is now in front of the car as Good reverses, then drives forward. Gunfire is heard. Good's car then crashes into two others that are parked. She later dies.
It's still not clear whether or not he had time to get out of the way or simply, resort to lethal force.
Dr. Alex Del Carmen is a federal law enforcement consultant who is trained.
We'll stop there.
The federal law consultant, former cop.
Yeah, it's like, he's like, but I mean,
What's he going to tell her? The bitch had to die. That's what he's going to tell her.
Yeah, it's like, I guess goes to show you, she's basically saying, hey, she's not violent, she's not angry, she's not.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're talking to one set of the guy who was saying, get out the car, was walking, had nothing to do with the conversation. So there's a conversation going on between the wife with one officer, the other one's talking to another officer, and then this third guy, the conversation A, B, C your way out of it, right? This third guy runs up to the car, who has nothing to do with what's going on, and tries to start prying on the door, trying to arrest her, and then shoots at her. It's like, dude, you weren't even part of this.
Close. Yeah.
Plus, they were in front of their house, which they're calling them protesters on the news, but they were literally in front of their house. It's like, and the reason why they asked her to move the car because the ICE guy was stuck in the snow. So she's moving the car because he got stuck in the snow, and she's trying to clear her vehicle for him so he can pass. And she did let other officers pass. There's another video with her letting officers pass the vehicle, and then one guy gets stuck, and then, now granted, these neighbors had their cars parked in such a way to try to block ICE from coming into their neighborhood. But that's their neighborhood. They pay taxes in that neighborhood. ICE does not pay taxes in that neighborhood. They could park their cars.
This tells me the next time ICE is stuck in the ice,
leave them there.
Go, gotta go get coffee. Have a good one, buddy.
Yeah, that's why she was like, yeah, they were just like, we're just gonna go get lunch. We're gonna, we'll see you later in the day. We'll be back. Just
you figure it out.
And his words to her is fucking bitch. Like, is she like where does that come from?
That's you. You call her, and she's helping you by allowing you to get out.
Right. And then you're asked,
to Minnesota, as they say, Minnesota nice.
Yeah.
No more Minnesota nice, I don't think. Yeah, ice agents, nope.
Yeah,
you figure it out. Why should I assist you?
Right.
Help you.
I'm not trying to help these assholes, but well, it's been 3 hours.
Holy shit. It's been a whirlwind.
We actually did it. It's
we did it.
Yeah, 4 minutes shy, but yeah, I mean, any closing remarks or things that you'd like to discuss before?
Oh, you don't do that to me. I'll go for another 3 hours. I'll get Fidel Castro on your ass and talk for like 10 hours. You don't do that to me. I will never shut up.
You actually did 3 hours. Wow.
I'll never shut up.
Actually, it goes by pretty quick,
It did. Well, there's so much to talk about.
I know. And we barely scratched the surface. We didn't talk about the Charlie Kirk, CIA, Erica Kirk connections.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that video I sent you where she was actually in a infomercial for the CIA? She's actually starring in it.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I think we're getting our noggins washed. Everything is about CIA agents. Everything. Fucking turn on Netflix about CIA agents.
Yeah.
And the thing that kills me, everyone, and this is not to defend Putin at all, they're like, oh, he's a KGB agent. Fucking Bush Sr. was a CIA fucking head of the CIA. Why don't we look at both agencies like they're clandestine? They're both liars.
Yeah, they're both liars. Yeah.
Why is one's good and one? They're both
bad.
Us. And
yeah, I mean,
it's like whatever. I don't want to hear from either one.
And even there's a lady that was also former CIA that's taken over something, and they're like looking. I'm like, why is that a good thing? Because she's a Democrat. Because she's a Democrat, it's good that she's taken over this office, but she's a former CIA. We really want former CIA in charge of anything.
There used to be a time when and this is when we were very little, anything to do with the CIA, we were like, here we go. And now it's normalized.
Right.
Now it's just like, and all the stories are about like
those guys are all about
former secret agent and what the fuck. And no wonder everyone's complaining, oh, it's too woke. No, it's just everything's brainwashing you to go along with this clandestine system. It's okay if we kill some brown people to save brown people. No, it's not okay to kill brown people to save brown people. How about you just let brown people save brown people? You know? So maybe that's my closing remarks.
Well, I would have to say this, and I say this with a bit of sarcasm and irony. It's good to see white on white crime for a change on the news.
Dude,
it's like
World War I and World War II was white on white crime. When they do crime,
that was a long time ago. That
millions of fucking people that die.
I know.
When we do crime, it might be 2 or 3, maybe 10 people dead.
Right.
They get whole continents involved with this shit.
Right.
You know, and then they have the nerve to go, "Oh, the black problem." I'm like, have you thought of the white problem? Like,
right. It's like, hey, you guys are
crazy.
World domination. Hello.
World domination. And then I love the part that they go, yeah, because everybody's going to do it. Because if we don't do it, no one else, the black people will do it. Dude.
Right. It's just like, Israel's like, oh, the Palestinians are saying from the river to the sea. But isn't the flag, literally the blue stripes represent the river to the sea?
That slogan, I believe, was originally Israeli.
It's Israeli. It's an Israeli, but it's, again, back to propaganda. Their flag shows from the river to the sea.
Maybe you know what it is? They hate the fact that for a change they got co-opted.
Right. Yes.
They're like, you fuckers. You took it.
Like the N-word.
Maybe that's part of it.
When white people stole the N-word back instead of referring to themselves as that.
Oh man, in the 90s, that was the weirdest crap.
It's still going on.
White kids calling each other the N-word. It's like,
yeah, it's still going on. It's still going on. I have like white Irish kids that call each other the N-word. Like, what the fuck is going on?
It's like, maybe call each other, I don't know, the W word, not W-I-N-G, with the N-word with the W. I'd be like, okay,
go for it.
Call each other that. You created
that one. They don't even talk about anymore. That one's like long forgotten. You know.
Yeah. It's like, hey kids,
maybe if you go down south.
How's this?
Right.
The N-word without the N, but with W.
Right.
Run. Or maybe black people have to start using it.
Right.
And then
kick them into using it. Yeah. It's just like my thing is whenever I hear that word, I'm like, guys, stop using that word. You're all friends and neighbors. So just call each other neighbor. Replace that N-word with this word. So they're like, fuck you, neighbor.
I like ninja.
Yeah, ninja, yeah.
What's up, my ninjas? You know, that's pretty cool.
But I think it's like hilarious. I have a whole school of kids yelling at each other. Fuck you, neighbor. Neighbor, what are you doing? What are you doing, neighbor?
What are you doing, neighbor? I always made you think like the Smurfs.
Right.
It's like, hey, Smurf this, Smurf that. Was
Smurf
that
yeah,
was it the N-word?
Yes. It was either that or the N-word, right?
Right. You know, it's like.
But it could be positive and negative, you know. Like, how's it? I'm having a Smurfing good day. Then they're like, oh, Smurf.
What's up with
Smurf? So when they call Papa Smurf a Smurf, was that an insult?
Yeah, exactly. It's weird.
Admiration.
What, the Smurf? Yeah. You know.
The 80s. All right, we're out of here.
Right.
I gotta go to the gym. I need to do something with my life.
The apocalypse is coming. Are you scared? Are you prepared? The masses are running, frantically running from their fears, running with their tears, running from their lives, running from that dark shadowed creature that hides deep inside.